Well, thou art of passing skill.
Listen, welcome to the Warrior Shrine, but it's not. But it's not. Okay, we're laughing because we got you. it's years ago we did a thing where we did an April Fool's trick, and it turned out to be a Bloodborne podcast. This is sort of the same thing, but it's with Elden Ring because the game came out recently, and the three of us played it when it came out. This is me, Temp, of course, and Down for Reality, just as it was then. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Very well. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are doing well. This game sometimes does that to you, and sometimes it doesn't. Temp wrote a very handy. I don't know what I'm going to say in this podcast that we're doing, and I've been grappling with that for the past few days because it's a complicated game. There's a lot of layers to it. There's just a fucking lot to it in general. There's a lot to it. I only finished it like yesterday, maybe. And D4 said the same thing. You only finished it.
I think
Go ahead.
I finished it the day after you, I think.
Okay.
Like, I think you finished it like 2 days ago, and then I finished it yesterday.
And Tip, I know that you haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, I beat Godric, and I essentially have not played the game since.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, it doesn't mean anything to say that you finished it, really, because you haven't finished it. What does that mean? Like, there's so much more to the game. Like, you could beat this game, and there's still 50% of the game left. Maybe, who knows? Question mark. I've seen some shit just today that's left me like, just a lot more. There's a lot more to this game. There's a lot more, not just like, oh my god, like I'm not talking about chalice dungeons or something like that. But listen, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's wind back here and let's talk about. Tip had a good idea. Let's start where we started. What classes did everyone pick right at the start of Elden Ring? And why?
It's a book report.
Yeah. Tip, you go first. What did you go with?
I went with the Prophet class just because the only Souls game I've really played was Bloodborne, and I spent most of that game just hitting things over and over again with a saw blade. And I kind of wanted to deviate from that. I wanted to have a different experience. And just, like, prophets are cool. I mean, I like the idea, it's like I always thought the idea of like a barbarian or like an archer just kind of sound dumb, but like a prophet just sounds sleek as fuck. So I went prophet, and that made things very difficult in many spots. It's gotten easier, but like, they kept telling me like, hey, you got to put stuff into faith, right? And then I beat a boss, and the game's like, hey, you got a lot of experience points there. Should probably put them into faith. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. He's like, did you put it into faith yet? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I get a faith-based weapon. I'm like, finally, all this faith could pay off. And then I don't have enough dexterity because I put everything into fucking faith. So it's been a journey, but I've been having fun. I don't regret my class pick at all. Like, I think I've had a unique enough of experience with the game, watching so many other streamers play it, that I feel like I did the right thing. But I don't know. How did you guys? What did y'all pick? I'll pass it on to
No, I'm just surprised that you went in with Prophet. Because I pulled up. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear it, but I'm surprised whenever I pulled up the screen, look at it as I'm doing now, and looking at the Prophet on the new game thing, and the Prophet just. I would say the Prophet has the least appealing look to me personally.
What did it? Well, the prisoner has the least appealing look to me, dude. Like,
see, that's interesting.
Looks the worst.
Okay.
But I did a Google search and I typed in which class should I pick in Elden Ring.
Yep.
And they ranked it from like the most difficult classes to like the most like accessible classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vagabond was like the easiest. and I can't remember what the hardest was anymore, but they said if you want to use magic, like Prophet makes a lot of sense, right? And I want to pull up that Google link again just so I know what the classes are. Elden Ring classes, enter. So yeah, so I looked at like Confessor, Astrologer, and Prophet. Those are the ones I really looked at. And Prophet just seemed the coolest of the three.
Okay.
I actually like the look. I think it kind of looks cool.
Oh, okay. So it's just
what weapon does that start with?
Spear, actually. And from fighting games, I love spear characters. So that was... I didn't know that when I picked the character, by the way. That was just pure luck, and it turned out beautifully.
It's kind of hard to tell from the picture. It looks like a
well, yeah, you have to push like triangle or something to get the stats up and the starting items.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm happy though.
Maybe I'll put this video up with the actual podcast so you can see as I scroll through the starting classes here. A visual aspect of the podcast. Holy shit,
that would be cool. I forgot most of the classes, like Vagabond. I had to look that up because I didn't fucking remember what that was.
I forgot about this shit too.
It doesn't tell you anything. I could be a fucking vagabond. That doesn't mean anything. Right?
Yeah.
You got to push the button and pull up the stats.
I was talking to Snake Eyes, and I'm like, Snake Eyes, what'd you pick? He's like, I went hero, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he said, that's a barbarian. I'm like, how is anyone supposed to know that?
It's true.
Yeah.
I found some lore about that some lore about that today, but no, go ahead, D4.
Oh, I was just gonna mention that actually reminded me. Like, I started with hero, and I was gonna say I started with bandit, but that's actually not true. I started with hero, played it for an hour, and was like, fuck this. I hate the axe it started with, so then I went with bandit. Mostly because that also had a ninja mask, and I thought that looked tight.
It does look tight.
I hate my character looking anyway. Like, I don't want them to look at the beginning of a game, especially because, like, you want to look cool for your fucking first, experience with the game. So
yeah.
I picked the character with, like, the coolest looking outfit. And there's people that said, like, Bandit sucks really bad, like, early on, but I didn't really have that experience. I was fine with it, mostly. I didn't mind it too much.
Tip, do you don't have the list in front of you of the starting classes, or you do?
I could. Yeah, you could say I do. I'm going to actually say that I do have the list.
Okay, well, I was going to ask if you could guess which starting class that I went with.
Oh, Samurai. Like, I already knew that, but if I didn't know that...
Oh, did you know that? Yeah, because both D4 and Pot were like, yeah, we knew you went Samurai.
Yeah.
I did. I totally went Samurai. It happened. And it was a good choice, too.
It was.
Samurai, like, is good. He's strong. He's got a lot of shit going for him. He's got some good armor that's not too heavy. He's got that katana, which is... The Uchi katana is really good. It's really good. He's also got a bow to start with.
Damn.
Yeah.
And he has a shield too, right?
He does have, he has the shield. He has arrows and fire arrows to start.
Damn.
I'm like, no, he's really good. He's good. I like that.
Like archery and like crossbows are actually kind of strong in this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're good. They came in real handy in that first boss fight. Go ahead.
Well, you know that like blue spider Pokemon you have to fight at the beginning of the game and it kills you? Well, I ran into him again in Godfrey's castle, and I just kind of stood in a corridor and shot him to death. He couldn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Well, how you do it.
What'd you shoot him with?
I don't actually know. I just went through my inventory to see if I had a crossbow, and I did, and then I just shot him to death.
It was with the crossbow then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I had bolts. I think bolts were the inventory item I used.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if it was magic, you're a pussy. But if it's a crossbow, it's fine. It's totally.
I mean, that was the crossbow was Plan B, sir. I tried to throw the magic, and because it takes 15 seconds to charge a magic fireball, he would just dodge it and laugh at me. So I'm like, all right, we're pulling out the big guns.
They will dodge shit in this game. It's kind of sick.
Getting fucking flashbacks from Doom Eternal, it pisses me off.
I used throwing knives a lot in this game, and it was really fun because they would start dodging that shit left and right, which really, really surprised me. But D4, talk more about your starting experience with the thing. You said you stuck with Bandit, or you didn't stick with Bandit?
No, I did stick with Bandit. I
Okay.
abandoned Hero early on.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I also just didn't. I don't know. The Hero armor wasn't that cool looking to me. So, but I mostly did it because I wanted to rock a strength build. But Bandit is focused more on dexterity, which is better in this game in my opinion. I think Dex is way better than strength. But
Yeah, Dex is buff in this game.
but yeah, Uchigatana. I found that early on, and then just ran with that for the first like 15 hours or so. That is a great starting weapon. That got me through like Godric and Margit and all those. It's a fucking ridiculous weapon.
You oh, that's what you used to beat Margit. Did you go like
Yeah.
right towards Margit? Like how long was it between the time that you started the game and you got to Margit? Margit's the first. I
Yeah.
guess he's the first boss. Is that what you would call him? If anybody
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first
story
like official boss, yeah.
Okay.
I would say so. Because there's like mini dungeon bosses and shit in between. You could say like Tree Sentinel's maybe the first boss, but like the first official boss is definitely Margit, I think.
Okay.
I
And
think
did
it took me sorry.
No, go
Well,
for
no,
it.
did you fight the Tree Sentinel when you first started the game out?
I didn't because I already beat him in the beta and I just wanted to like progress past that point, so I killed him later on.
Gotcha.
Few hours later, but yeah, I ran straight to Margit, and then because I had already did like the beta and that's like the starting area, so I already kind of knew where everything was. It took me like a couple hours to get to Margit, and then it only took me like a half hour to beat him or something.
I never fought Margit in the whatever that was called, the beta. You and Pot reminded me that I fought the hell out of the Tree Sentinel.
Yeah.
Which I had completely forgotten about. Actually, I fought him for a long time. That's pretty much all I did. I just wasn't really. I don't know. I wasn't really wanting to play that much whenever the beta came out.
Yeah.
I think
and
I was
you made the
mostly
right choice.
of just not wanting to play. I mean, I guess maybe, probably, especially having played this game to the point that I have now, and I'm really enjoying the game. Just kind of wanting to save it all for this was, yeah, I think that probably was the right move. But I spent a long time on that Tree Sentinel boss in the beta. You're right, I forgot about that.
You did.
I found that he was a lot easier once I got a horse. Once I had the horse, he couldn't really do anything to me.
Yeah, he's a lot easier on horse.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't played as much of the beta because, like, I do really like the starting area, and I kind of just ran past everything this time, and didn't really get that like full, experience of just discovery and whatnot. I kind of just ran past shit.
What about you, Tim? How long did it take you to get to that first boss from when you started?
Not super long. I basically just I went east at first. So I went to like the lake and I fought the bats. I'm like, east is bullshit. Then I went west, and then I found Melina, whatever her name is, and then I got to the troll, and I'm thinking like, oh, okay, they want me to just use the horse, and then I basically just horsed my way to Margit.
Yeah,
that was the easy part. Margit took me about 10 hours to beat.
10 hours.
He was really hard. As a matter, and in my defense, like the prophet does not do a lot of damage. All right, so once I got the pattern down, like I had to fucking like poke him until I got him halfway through, and then when he like changes his pattern for the second half, he would I just couldn't do any fucking damage, so I had to basically like zone him out.
Yeah,
and then finally, like I don't know if this is a final phase or not. But I feel like when I got him down to like 2% life, his strings would just go on forever. And that's why I finally threw a jellyfish at him. And that's how I finally beat him.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so there's a lot of controversy around this game, right?
Yeah.
Magic and jellyfish are very, very controversial topics because it's a question of is the jellyfish true Street Fighter or not? And I don't have a stance on this. I just want to beat the bosses any way I can so I can progress. I've only played Bloodborne in this game.
Yeah.
I played like 15% of Dark Souls. I really liked it. I got busy, right? So I feel like this is a different topic altogether, but I think the bane of being a magic user is you have no idea if you're going to find spell books or not. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. The game doesn't know where you're going to go, right? And I
Okay,
have yet to find
yeah.
a single spell book, but we'll get to that later. But this is my way of saying that the Margit challenge was really difficult, and it was very long because I saw the people who said Margit was easy, and they were doing substantially more damage than I was. So yeah, that was. Although he is kind of weak to fire, that helped me out. But I didn't have the projectile yet, so I was literally just running up to him and just started screaming and burning him, and then run away. It just it was horrible, man. But it was fun though. It felt good when I beat him.
Yeah.
That sounds tough. It does sound tough trying to go at him with the prophet, like you said, with the weapons you're talking about.
Yeah, if I was using the build you were using, I would definitely struggle probably because I'm not good at playing magic and shit.
A year from now, if one of you guys use Prophet and you get to Margit, let me know how it goes. Let me know.
That sounds like a fun challenge.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. See how long it takes.
We're both like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Challenge
There's so many
accepted.
variables in this equation, right? Because I am bad at the game. I don't think that's that's controversial. So you combine me and the Prophet, we don't make a good team against Margit, and that was the issue. So maybe in better hands, the Prophet was more viable against Margit. But maybe not, because like I said, Eris fought Margit in his underwear, and that took about 9.5 hours, according to No Pants.
Yeah, I saw that.
He did. He went at fucking Margit with in his underwear with a club. Just I don't know why he kept doing that. But
that's really strange. He beat him the first time, in 2 hours, and then he started a new character. Went back to him, and it took fucking 9 hours. I was like, holy shit. Because I was watching his stream while I was playing. I'm like, man, he's been on Margit this entire time I've been playing. It was 4 hours. It's Jesus Christ. I kept looking over it, and
there's 2 points to that. The first point is that even using the class he was using, it still took him 2 hours. I think it took you and Django less than 5 tries. So it still speaks a lot about how y'all approach the game. But what's up?
I don't know about 5. Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember now. Now you got me guessing.
Well, the other point I was going to make is if you're not listening to someone play Elden Ring while you play Elden Ring, are you even playing Elden Ring?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, no, but it did make listen. It made a big difference going up there against Margit as the samurai class with the katana with some decent decks. That does make a big difference in this game. This game is really heavy towards decks, especially. It seems like especially at the beginning, Dex is really good, and Bleed is really good all through the game.
That's true, yeah.
And the Uchikatana does that, doesn't it? I think it does.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have that shit,
good as some other weapons, but it definitely bleeds after a minute.
And yeah, Bleed is really good in this game.
And its weapon art does a shit ton of damage too.
What is the weapon? Oh, it's the Unsheath. I forgot about
Unsheath,
that. That does do really good. So I lucked into Margit being a little easier, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like the game wants to push you to go into other areas and get adequately leveled for Margit. I think that's why he's so hard. Because
I could see that.
I think you're supposed to go it kind of pushes you to go and explore and level up and stuff before you fight him. And I think adequately level, he's kind of a very fair fight. But going in really early level with no upgrades and shit, he's really fucking hard.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I still don't know if what I encountered was a final phase or not when the strings just kept going and going.
I think that's just part of his second phase. Because I know the string you're talking about, and that shit fucking takes forever. He does 7 or 8 hits. It's the one with,
That's the thing in this game in general, though. I think that's something that the game wants you to get used to early on is okay, this game isn't just Dark Souls and stuff where you wait until the string is ended and you visually recognize that and then you go in because then they'll add on to that or they'll keep going sometimes just to fuck with you.
Yeah. And that's what he feels like to me. He feels like a teaching boss. He has a lot of bullshit, but it's also it's kind of in the fair way where he has those moments where he stops and recovers and it kind of points you to attack during that.
Yeah, it's a specific kind of fair. It's the Justin Wong yelling at an 8-year-old kid saying today kind of fair.
Exactly. It forces you to learn the game, basically.
And by the end of the fight, you probably have. Like, you've learned at least, like, you know what the game is going to throw at you, and you might be like, well, fuck this game at that point. And
Yeah.
maybe you will. And that takes the conversation to something of difficulty if you guys want to talk about that, because I know that was one of the things to talk about here.
Well,
Yeah.
so devil's advocate to that point. So I don't necessarily think that's incorrect, but it does make the battle last a lot longer because I had to play like a defensive strategy against Margit, and it just took forever finding my openings because I couldn't like go head on, or he'd pull out like his shank and like stab me with his like fucking golden dagger.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like there was a pattern around that, but it also didn't do a lot of damage, so I couldn't really play the aggressor. So when you get him down to 10% health and you die, all that time is gone and you never get it back. And I did explore a little bit, and I okay, again, I don't know if we want to go on this topic or not, but like there seems to be a real quality drop when it comes to sub bosses versus main bosses.
Yeah.
Like you fight like the Tree of Life inside a castle, and then you go to a random cave and you fight like Shadow Crash Bandicoot, and it's just like hey, there's no like middle ground in this game.
Quality in terms of like what, like difficulty, or
That too, because I like literally like even at low level, I just burned these assholes alive. It took no effort to kill them.
that's something that may have been like another thing that they intended to hint to you towards, like, okay, this boss is a scrub and this boss is not a scrub, so maybe if you can't handle this other boss that's giving you trouble, maybe you should go around and look for things. I'm guessing here, I'm speculating,
But they also looked whack as well. Like I was not visually impressed by any.
there was some of that. Yeah, I agree.
I'd agree there. There's like a few. I don't know. That's a topic for sure. I'll have to think about it.
I don't know what topic we're on right now. I'm gonna go back into the
I'm looking.
So we went over classes. Cool.
We did.
God, the next question is a fucking baller. Do we even want to ask this yet?
What is that?
How does it compare to other Souls games?
You know,
I'd save that for later.
yeah,
yeah.
we can save that for down the road.
We've kind of discussed the difficulty curve, so that's
I would like to comment on like the magic thing, and
yeah,
because I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with using magic, and I don't think there's anything wrong with using summons, especially because the game literally pushes them towards you. Like with some of these fucking bosses later down on, I don't know how you can do it without summons. Like I know it's possible, obviously, it's just gonna be way fucking harder for no reason, and it feels like the game designed some of their bosses around the summons, which I really don't like. Specifically like with the Godskin duo and shit like that. Like that's like a really terrible version of Ornstein and Smo. I hated that fight.
It's that you're right, and that's something else that I wanted to say too. I made a joke early on about like, oh, if you use magic, you're a pussy, but if you use the crossbow, it's fine.
Yeah,
because that's listen that the magic thing is ridiculous. It's super ridiculous in this game. Like, yeah, if you listen, win by any means necessary in this game. I don't care how you do it. Like, if you do it, then good, you fucking did it. Because this game, the people going in saying like, oh, magic's for, there's so many people that go into this game being like, magic's for this, or like, you should do this, or doing this isn't proper. They're fucking judging this game going in from Dark Souls, or Bloodborne, or Demon Souls, or all these other games that aren't Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is not those games. At all. It's like, yeah, you'll fire up the game, and you'll see a lot of reused animations, and you'll hear a lot of reused sound effects, and you'll start to get this vibe going on. And all these other like legacy Souls games players, they like to come in with that kind of bravado and whatnot. But listen, it's not. This isn't those games. This game is its own game. If you go in playing this game like you play those games, you're not playing the game. You're not playing Elden Ring.
Right.
And this game tells you early on stuff like the guard counter mechanic. You need to be using the guard counter mechanic. If you're not using it, you don't have to use it. But if you're not using it, then you're not taking advantage of the tools that Elden Ring gives you to kind of like help yourself out a little bit. Because if you're just playing it like you're playing Dark Souls, it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot fucking harder. You're nerfing yourself like unnecessarily.
What do you mean by guard mechanic? I'm not sure.
The guard counter?
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm not using that.
oh, well, see, like it helps. It helps a fucking ton.
But
Like,
I need a shield to do that, right?
well, no, you don't have to have a shield. You can do it with just a weapon. If you two-hand a weapon and you hold block, you're good to go.
You do
Oh,
take
that's
more
not
damage
real.
that way.
Yeah, you do take more damage that way, but you can also immediately do your thing if it's an attack that's appropriate. As I get fucking lit up if you're watching the video while I'm doing this shit. But no, like it will immediately knock most enemies down for a whatever, a riposte, a visceral, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it.
Well, my left hand lets me use magic, so I guess that's not even in the cards for me then.
I don't know. I've never used magic. I mean, I've used summons. I've done that. I've done like I don't know. I consider that magic. Is that not magic? Maybe that's not magic.
I don't
so.
think that's considered magic.
That's
Okay.
like an item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It uses
Kind
like
of its
mana,
own thing.
but I don't consider that like strategically magic.
Can you like? Okay, you can do a summon like when you're about to go in a boss room, you can summon like someone else to help you out, like not a real person, but like an NPC, right?
I've never
Sometimes, yeah.
done it.
Okay, I know you can do it at least sometimes. Like before
Mhm.
you go in to fight Godfrey, you can summon that lady Nefeli, that warrior barbarian lady.
Yeah.
Um, when you do that, can you also summon a summon? Like when the fight starts?
I don't think you can. I
That
think it works the same way as in co-op, where you can't summon summons
okay.
in co-op.
That makes sense. Okay, that's what I was wondering because
I
that
would assume. I don't know if that's true.
because that seems a little excessive. I was just wondering about that, but no. Anyway, like, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, point being, you win by however you need to win, and
Mhm.
don't listen to fucking anybody. If you
Yeah.
like, there's nothing wrong with using magic. Come on.
Well, devil's advocate, and by devil I mean Eris, right?
Okay.
So if it could be that magic is just the viable easy mode, and if someone came to me and said, "Should I play a Resident Evil remake on easy mode?" I would tell them no. So how do you feel about that? Like, yes, it's a right way to play Elden Ring, but it's the right way to play easy mode of Elden Ring. What do you think?
I don't think that applies to Elden Ring. I think that people are applying that because of other Souls games, and they're coming in with that preconceived notion, and I don't think that applies to this game necessarily. I don't think that that's necessarily an easy mode for this game, because you can go in with magic and get fucking lit up. And I went in with a goddamn sword, and it was a lot easier for me.
There's also, yeah, like for me, I don't find magic to be easy. Like I have strayed away from magic in every Souls game because I don't like the process of like leveling up my faith, my intelligence, my mind in this game. Like you have to have all these little like micromanage all these little things. You have to micromanage your mana bar and shit and find the right spells and shit and find the right thing to cast them. I'm like, I don't fucking have time to do this shit. I'm just gonna use a fucking sword. So I think for like, especially new players, like they're put off by these Souls veterans. They're saying like, "Oh, don't use fucking magic. It's easy mode." Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, if you want to use magic, use magic. Like, I'm sure it's easier than like in my head I'm making it out to be, but I just never liked going for that, and I just prefer like melee based combat anyway. But especially in this game, I could find magic being like difficult for mobs and shit. Like on horseback, I don't really know how it works on horseback. That's actually interesting. I need to look into that. I haven't seen a lot of people use magic in this game, so
Even basic enemies will crush counter me while I'm in the middle of a spell sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can get like, yeah, you get mobbed very easily. Although I think the Souls vets who are whining about magic kind of got hit by a karma bomb because you watch them play the game and we get to watch them struggle, and they do for
They
a
do.
very long time.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. Dude, Eris was just banning everyone. It was hilarious. That's the only time I have not seen him pop off after a boss. I've seen him play Cuphead. I've seen him play Bloodborne. It's the only time. Margit is the only time I've seen him just like stare silently after beating a boss and just watch the chat for like half a minute.
That's sick.
Yeah, and I've never seen him that exhausted before. But I mean, I don't know. I see both sides, honestly. I could see like it being an implicit easy mode. I don't know if I agree with that. I'd have to think about it. I'd also have to actually play the game more, unfortunately, right? My biggest complaint right now is that it is an open world and the exploration does not guarantee anything. It opens up a possibility for things, but I need prayer books and I can't find any fucking prayer books. And I know at least one of them's in the castle because Randy was saying that. So it's like, God, like, how much more exploration do I need to do before I get a prayer book? And the answer is, it could be 1 hour, it could be 10 hours. Who even knows? There's so much game available, right? So that's kind of like my big thing right now.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and that's not just limited to magic either, though, because upgrade materials for weapons were also really hard to find early on. They've patched that actually since then, and so now you can buy like what are those? You know, the shard
Smithing
things.
stones.
Yeah, smithing stones. You can buy them now from a few of the early merchants, which you couldn't do whenever I started. But now you can, which is good, but it's still really hard to like go around and bolster your arsenal and combat abilities at the beginning of the game. Like you still have to like spend a lot of time doing that. You can though, for as far as the argument of exploration goes, like the game lets you go really far without ever fighting a boss. Like you can completely bypass Stormvale Castle if you want and go on to the rest of the game and check shit out. And you can find a lot of stuff that will help you out and in that way kind of bypass a lot of the normal Souls you know, whatever, how they make you do stuff, the order of operations a lot of the time. Like if you just want a game where you can like run around and explore shit in, you can do that in this game. You can, like I said, you can go around fucking Stormvale Castle, the whole deal there. Or you can go over to what is it? You can go over to the well that takes you way down into like Siofa River and all that stuff. You can go do that and you can explore there for a fucking year or some shit. That place is huge. You can do a lot of that in the game without ever fighting a boss if you want to. Like a ton of that. And if you want to do that and not really like, you know, let the rest of the game kind of fuck off, the whole bosses and the story, if that's not really what you're into, you just want to run around and explore this place. This game is huge, and you can do that for as long as you fucking want to.
Well, that is a good segue into the mimic chest. Because, like, if you're exploring, it's like, you know what? I don't want to fight, Margit yet. I just want to explore. And then you get transported into a cave, and you have no idea. You've basically been kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
And I've never... What's that?
No, yeah, we agree.
Yeah, I just remember dying. I'm thinking, well, whatever. It was fun. And then I respawned back in the cave, and it was such a moment of panic. I'm like, okay, well, am I going to have to fight like level 40 enemies just to get out of here with my shitty spear, my starting spear? And I did get out. But fuck, that was such a moment of panic. It was like you're using the bathroom at like a friend's party and the door jams, you can't get out. That's what I felt like. You're like texting your buddy to tell Melissa that I'm stuck in her fucking bathroom. And then like he doesn't respond. It's like, well, fuck. So like that's kind of the panic I was going through when I realized I was on the other side of the map. And it's great in retrospect. I love it in retrospect, but it's just like that's what exploration looks like sometimes, right?
That's actually really cool and you had a hard time getting out of the cave, right?
Oh, yeah. I did.
I decided I was just going to run. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
When I was like, I'm going to fight my way through, and then I died 5 times, like, no, I'm not. And then I just ran.
That's pretty much how, like, getting kidnapped in Yahar Ghul and Bloodborne was. Like, once you run past everything just to get to the lamp, you're fine, you're good. But it's just that initial panic where you're like, fuck, like, how am I going to get out of here? Like, I think that's done well there, but it also is let down a little bit by like the fast travel. Like once you get to a bonfire, you're good. Like you can just fast travel back, but like, cause that's by Caelid, right? Like where you get.
I think so. I'm not good with the names, but
is it all red and shit?
Yeah, it's red.
Okay, yeah.
But that sucks though because you're in a cave and you can't fast travel inside caves.
Yeah.
Well, it's also deceptive too because I killed one of the miners pretty easily because I just threw fire at him until he died. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then his supervisor found out and started shooting like Marvel Doom missiles at me. I'm like, what the fuck?
Those weird like shrimp dudes who like shoot that shit that tracks you. That shit's annoying.
Yeah, that seems fucking broke, but it's hilarious in retrospect.
What else do you guys? What else is there to say about this thing?
I was just gonna say the exploration bit. Like,
Oh yeah,
I definitely have some issues with like just how the game spreads out its items, and how Tim was saying like you don't know what is going to be useful for your build.
yeah.
So I just kind of ran past most of the fucking mobs in this game and didn't bother with the side shit.
Hmm.
And then by the time like the end game came around, I felt really underleveled. And I don't think the game does a good job of like spreading out enough materials and like allowing enough like easy ways to like access those materials. Like for instance, like sacred tears and like the things that you get more Estus and shit,
Yeah, yeah.
golden seeds or whatever.
Yeah.
I find that really tedious. Like especially on a second playthrough, like I'm not gonna want to pick that shit up again. So it's like I don't feel like the exploration rewards you enough, but I also don't know how to fix that. Like I don't know what the solution is.
Well, I have two questions on that. Like, assuming you're at the correct level, whatever that may be, do you feel like the bosses on the second half of the game were well designed?
Some of them.
I heard they were cheap as fuck. That's what I heard.
There's a couple of like really badly designed bosses, I think, in the second half. It's like half and half. There's like some really good ones, but also some really bad ones.
There are some really bad ones, and a couple of the really bad ones are ones that are like clearly reused and shit from stuff
Yeah.
that you've gone against earlier. And like that fucking whatever the Godskin duo.
Yeah,
Are like we're just gonna shove these two assholes together, and all of a sudden that's just gonna make it more of a problem, which is
it's
really
like
annoying.
there's already like 3 other Godskin fights. You already fight the fatty. You already fight 2 of the fucking skinny ones earlier, and it's like now they're just together. There's nothing interesting about it, and it's not like you kill both of them like in time before like the other one resurrects like fucking Gil, and then they're dead. No, it will just be silence until they both resurrect again. And I'm like, that's fucking lame. Like if you kill them both fast enough, why don't you just get the win? Like,
Yeah, I
that
got
would be-
so pissed the first time I did that shit. I was almost popping off, and I wasn't streaming or anything. I was just hanging out, and boy, they weren't even fucking dead. They just came right back. And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, what the fuck, man? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
No, the Godskin, I definitely, fuck those two. That was
It
bullshit.
doesn't like so many of the in-game fights just feel like very like I don't think a Souls game has had bosses where just you can feel like the artificialness where it's like I'm not doing anything interesting here. I'm not like
Yeah.
outsmarting them. I'm just basically RNGing and getting lucky. Like I'm just tanking through hits. And I haven't felt that in a Souls game in a long time where I'm just like I don't have that feeling in Bloodborne. Bloodborne I feel like even if I'm getting like one shot by Ludwig, the attack is still easy enough to avoid where like you can dodge it consistently. And like it feels like you're learning the attack patterns and everything. You're not like dying to just bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit in that game, but I never got like as pissed off as this game where I'm just like I legitimately just don't even want to play the game until I'm past this boss, so I'm just not gonna play it. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have the desire to get past it because what's waiting for me? More fucking bullshit. Like
Well, yes, I agree, but that was somewhat my experience with Bloodborne as well. Not the so I agree about the boss design 100%.
Yeah.
Like every boss battle in Bloodborne felt like a duel.
Mhm.
It felt very personal. There's like actual footsies. But in Bloodborne, my big problem was after defeating some of the really hard bosses, like the incentive really started to like tank.
yeah.
Because I think the big example is Ligarius. Like I fought Ligarius,
Mhm.
and I'm like, why am I doing this? I went to this big castle, and my reward is Ligarius. And if I beat Ligarius, I'll get blood echoes.
Yeah.
Yay? Question mark. Like that was my problem with Bloodborne. So it's just like, I think one cool thing about Elden Ring is when you beat a boss, you get more terrain. The exploration is the reward.
That is true.
With Ligarius, you beat Ligarius, you go home. Like that's the thing.
You get a few things after Ligarius, but yeah, it's not. That is also
Because
entirely
cutscenes that-
optional.
Yeah, well, also it's also impossible to find if you don't like Google.
Right?
it.
Yeah, it's like you're not. That's like an area that's very offset. It's like you don't have to do it. It's very like do it if you want to. I did not do
Wait.
that on my first playthrough.
Who's Ligarius? I feel like an idiot.
He's the Canehurst boss.
Oh, okay. I always forget that motherfucker's name. Yeah. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. Go ahead.
Well, man, there's so many topics we just brought up, like indirectly, that are so fascinating to me. Before we get to those other topics, one, Do y'all feel like the area of effect attacks are broke and dumb and bad designs? So like
Some
you're
of
hitting
them?
someone and the ground explodes, shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the ground explodey things are things you can jump over, but the game doesn't actually tell you about that and introduce you to the concept. So it's really fucking weird. Um, and it's never really super clear what is a jump over and what's not a jump over.
Right.
Uh,
That I don't. Yeah, it doesn't have the Sekiro thing where it
yeah.
will show up.
That was the thing in Sekiro, and it would show up. It was a little thing that would pop up, being like, "Hey, this is an unblockable." And unblockables in that game, you would either have to like Makiri counter or jump over. It wouldn't tell you
Mhm.
which one, but it would tell you that it was unblockable, so it had to be one of those two. And usually you could tell. In this game, there's like nothing. So
There's several attacks I don't know how to avoid, so I just roll and hope for the best, or just mash jump, and it almost never works. Like especially with the last fight, especially.
that last fight is another situation.
Yeah.
That last fight sucks. Um, at least the last fight that you and I played. Maybe that's not the last fight in some other versions of the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do y'all like the jump? Do you think jump's a good addition to the Souls genre?
I definitely think so.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. What do you go ahead, D4, you say more.
No, I re-downloaded Bloodborne the other day, and like I was playing that, and it felt weird not being able to jump. It feels like a natural inclusion. I don't think it should not be in Souls games from now on. Like I think it'll feel really weird if they regress back to like jumping with left what the fuck is it, analog stick or whatever?
Yeah, like L
that would feel
L3, R3, something like that.
Yeah. That would feel really bad. So
Um,
they should leave it in, I think.
and I think more than that, like it's not just the fact that like they did jumping and it's good in this game. It is. It is really good in this game. I like it a lot. They also just used it way better than I thought they would as far as like
Mhm.
exploration and traversal goes, and like taking advantage of this mechanic as far as that kind of stuff goes, level design. Like
Yeah.
like there's so much shit that like, oh man, I forgot I can jump on this. Look where this
Mhm.
goes. Oh, they planned on this. Oh shit, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this over here? This is sick. And they did a really, really, really good job with that. Way better than I ever thought that they would have done.
Mhm.
I mean, they did really, really, really well with level design in Sekiro. Sekiro's
Yeah.
level design was amazing and took advantage of all those things, and it was so good. But for this game, I was like, okay, there's a jump, but it's a Souls game, so like it's gonna be like not really that vertical of a level design type thing when you go in. No, they like fuck that. You're gonna jump on shit, and it's gonna look stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
It feels very Mario Brothers to me. It's
It
a very
does.
loose jump.
they like we don't fucking care. We just know that you're gonna run up to shit and you're gonna try to jump on it, and so here you go. There's shit to jump on
Yeah.
over here. Because I mean, you know, you got to think they see that shit too. They see the little like phantoms running around that are just like jumping up and down and teabagging and shit. Like they can see what everybody's doing, and like people jumping into walls and doing all these stupid skips. Like, oh, you want to jump on a banister and try to jump over there? We know you're gonna do that shit. Here you go for it. We're gonna plan for that shit, and we're gonna give
Yeah.
you something to reward for it. And that's always kind of the amazing thing to me in this game. It's like, wow, you really wanted me to do something that looked that stupid. Sick. That's really cool.
Well, because it seems very powerful to me. I don't use it very often just because I use a spear in the beginning and I use a scythe now. But so I'm mostly fighting at range, but most of the time I'm just chunking fireballs, right? My thing about jump is I wish your character's weight affected your jump stats, so you like do a jump build. Because if your character weighs like 1 billion pounds and you're carrying like a giant axe, it feels weird that your character can still jump like an asshole.
Yeah.
Is it bad? I mean, it's not offensive, but I wish it was interesting, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Now, when you say jump like an asshole, what exactly do you mean?
Well, I don't mean assholes and bad. I mean assholes and silly.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just like, I don't know, like the moon jumps when you're just covered in armor just seem really strange
Yeah.
to me.
I've been using heavier
can
armor
see that.
recently, and I can still mid roll though. So, but like I'm using like a giant ass hammer too, and it looks a little weird. Because I was actually wondering that too. I was like, is jumping affected by weight, but I guess it isn't.
No, yeah,
I could
it's
be
not.
wrong. Maybe it is.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is because I was like still jumping the same height as I was.
But imagine from like a viewer's perspective who's watching the stream. Imagine if someone's gimmick is that they're wearing no clothes except for like a loincloth because they're doing a jump build. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
That could be kind of cool.
It's true.
It could be.
I don't think you need jump to be successful either. Like,
No,
it
you
would be
definitely
cool to see
don't.
jump enthusiasts, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Which would be me. That sounds like me. I jump attacks though are really good in this game.
They are.
Like and you can make them better obviously with like the jump talisman, but you don't have to have that shit. They're still really good, and they're really good for staggering too and guard breaking.
That's what I noticed. Like it's very good on bosses to just get them that stagger state, and that's why I use them a lot more now. Like I didn't realize that early on. It also depends on the weapon. Like I didn't like using jump attacks with like stabby weapons, but with like a hammer or like something blunt, like they seem a lot like
Good.
really good.
Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
good. Which
They have
is-
different like I
ahead.
do like that it depending on the attack, like it is different. It's not just the same for every weapon. Like there's buff jump attacks and kind of shitty ones.
which is them using that jump again really well.
Yeah.
And they really seem to do well with that, and maybe that AoE thing that started us talking about this, like in jumping some of that and not knowing when to some of the time, because you absolutely can some of the time, and which is
Yeah.
really nice, and that's something that I really liked about the guard counter mechanic, because I don't like rolling away all the time. I think it looks really fucking stupid. It looks
Yeah.
really fucking stupid whenever everyone's just flopping around the ground everywhere you do. And I don't like running away like a bitch all the time like that too. It's my favorite thing about Sekiro, because you can stay in close and you're still being defensive. But you're being defensive in a way that feels really offensive, because you're fucking parrying all that shit and it feels good.
Mhm.
With this game, whenever you get to stay in close and you don't have to roll away, you can just jump straight up when a boss is going to do like an AoE type thing and go right back into attacking afterward, which is a thing that you can absolutely do. You can do it against what is that dude, Godric the Golden or whatever. You do that a lot of his shit. You can do that with him a lot, and it feels really really nice. And you can do that with a guard counter, so you don't have to run away. You can like block and then deflect and then get your fucking shit and move on. You don't have to get out all the time. I really like that. The quality of execution in this game specifically is questionable. It's not as well done as Sekiro by far, but they clearly were trying in that regard to some degree.
God, that's another topic too. Fucking, man, I don't know. I'm at a fork in the road. Which do I want to talk about? Because we're gonna go down a hill either way. I've had so many dropped inputs, right? So like,
That's the
I'll up for a
thing.
move without realizing it, which is fine. It's on me. That's my fault. But if I'm running because I'm scared and I press roll before I get attacked and nothing happens, like that's not on me. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, pressing a button and nothing happening is the worst feeling on earth.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There have been so many moments in this game where, like, I'll be fighting a boss and I'll accidentally two-hand my shield, and I have no idea how the fuck that even happens. And I don't, like, I swear to God, like,
Two-handing
I'm
your
not
shield?
hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
hitting L1. I'm just suddenly hitting my shield. I'm like, why the fuck isn't my attack coming out? Oh wait, I have my fucking stupid shield. Like it there are a lot of missed inputs in this game, and then I don't know what's causing it, but like for instance, like I'll do like I'll try to do a jump attack. I'll accidentally get like a running R1 or R2 or whatever.
According to Yo Video Games, it's dropped frames. That's why that happens.
I would-
watching his review, so
I don't know.
Yeah,
it could
I wonder
be.
if that. Yeah, I was gonna say for us, like me and Django, like I do feel like this game, especially like, is harder with 30 frames than it is 60 frames, and I'm really sad that we weren't able to play in 60 frames because, like, I feel like that would improve just my reaction time with shit and just
I
the
agree.
overall quality with the game. Like, I hate having to play in 30, but yeah,
I play somewhere between 40 and 50 on the PS5. I could have played at 60, but I wanted the PS5 experience. You know, it's an open world. I deeply regret that now. I don't think this game looks good enough for PS5. I should have just got PS4.
I've
I
heard
mean,
there's very little difference in the visuals as well.
It's
And
all
that-
bushes,
yeah.
dude. It's all bushes and rocks.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, man. Like I think there's a lot of PS4 games that look better than this game on PS5, dude. But that's just me.
Mhm.
I believe it.
This was mostly developed, I'm guessing, during the late PS4 era. So I'm not surprised it's not like PS5 visual fidelity.
Was this true in other Souls games? Did you crouch by pressing R or L3?
No, that's new.
That's awful. I fucking hate that.
Oh, I changed that shit. I changed my inputs really early in this game because you can do that now.
Well, there will be like a huge bitch chasing me down. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I gotta get away. So I'm running, and as I'm running, I start crawling
Yep.
away because I actually got scared and pressed R3 or L3 too hard.
Yeah.
Yep. I started doing that in Sekiro. I did the same shit, and so I got rid of that really fast in Sekiro, and I just carried it over to this game.
I have not.
Can you change controls in this game?
Yes,
Mhm.
you can.
I didn't. Okay, well, I need to do that then. Holy shit! Well, I've put like 20 hours into the game. Dude.
Yeah, that's the thing with me. Once I get used
Yeah,
to the
it's the
control
thing.
set, I can't change it. I haven't had that happen to me too much, but
That's why
I can
did it
see why that's
early.
an issue. Yeah.
Should play this game on stick.
Right now.
That'd be sick,
my
actually.
crouch is man. That would be fuck.
I don't crouch too much in this game.
I
Not a whole lot.
Well,
I have crouches down like D-pad down is my crouch.
Oh,
I
weird.
went 80% in crouch in this game. Because okay, so one reason why I love this game so much is a lot of people say it reminds them of Skyrim, and it does.
Mhm.
I see a lot of Skyrim in this game, but to me, this game seems like a medieval Metal Gear Solid 5, and I really enjoy stealth in this game. Like, I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
to fight anyone. I just go into the village, and then I crouch, and I stab everyone in the back, and then I go back on my horse, and it's great.
That's pretty sick.
Even so, here's where magic is genuinely dumb, right? So there's 3 dudes hanging out. You gotta fight them, right? So you throw a fireball at the dude on the left, and the other 2 dudes are like, "What happened to this guy? Why is he on fire?" And they have no idea I'm there, about to throw another fireball. And then the other guy gets set on fire by my fireball. And the other guy's like, "So weird. 2 people just burst into flames for no reason." Man, what a day! And then I set his ass on fire. I don't know how many times I've done that. Like, every once in a while, one of them will get suspicious and be like, "Hey, is someone throwing these fireballs?" And after like 5 seconds, you're like, "Nah, that's crazy." And then I burst the fire. So, but very Metal Gear Solid 5 to me. I really enjoy that approach is available because it's so fun.
There are a lot of different ways to approach the game, which is cool. Like, and different ways to go and everything.
I mean, the reason why the dogs are in this game is so they can snitch you out when you're trying to do that bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking
What's that
dogs.
dog? There's someone throwing fireballs? That son of a bitch.
Dogs are
Like,
especially
that's-
annoying in this game.
I still fucking hate dogs.
I hate that dog in Stormvale that's hanging out with the troll.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
he
yeah.
is buff, man. His
Oh,
flips
yeah.
are on point. Holy shit.
I like that
It's a-
troll.
yeah.
Those troll enemies are tight though. If you're
Yeah.
talking about the one that I am, because I don't know what the complete lore is. I know they're related to the Omens, the same dude that Margit. They're still fucking like whatever they are. They're the same things. They're fat ass versions of it that couldn't hang.
That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking of the giant guys with the sword, but I don't know.
Are you
what
talking
those
about
are.
the really big dudes, like the
No,
super
I'm talking
giants?
about the medium dudes.
Okay, yeah, those guys.
medium dudes?
It's like specifically like, we're all there's. Oh god, it all looks like Castle in my head, dude. It's like the courtyard.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
all those guys have like giant ass crossbows with explosives, and you sneak up behind them. Well, behind them is a troll and a dog, and then you kill his dog, right?
Dude,
And then, he gets
D4,
mad.
you and me were fighting these things on those underground chambers. They were fucking you up with the barnacles on them.
But is that guy? I don't think any of those are in Stormvale.
Yeah,
are they?
dude, there's one of them in Stormville.
Where the fuck is he at?
Dude, you got to go back to Stormville.
He's next to the
I do
fire
not
next to
remember
the
him.
elevator. Oh, there's like 10 elevators. That doesn't help me.
Oh, I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah. And he comes into that room. I think he came into that room,
He,
and I was like, "Oh shit!"
he can come into the room.
Yeah.
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 he's-
He
I
can
fucking hate that area.
He can go in there.
That
There's a
surprised
lot
me
of
too.
cheese in this game. What's up?
Yeah. There's no like bonfire delay where if there's an enemy near it, you can't sit down. So I like that. So you just run past, you can immediately sit down. There's no like bullshit where you have to wait a few seconds.
Okay, about that. I was running away from the troll, laughing my ass off to the bonfire, and then I pressed fucking like the button, and it dropped the input, and him and his dog fucked me up. I was so mad. Because they knocked me away from the bonfire.
Yeah.
So pissed. Oh my gosh, man. But yeah.
That guy does fuck up his dog though a lot of the time too.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do love that enemies can hurt each other. That's fucking hilarious when that happens.
That's something that is really nice about this game. Like, you can go around and enemies are fighting, but they're fighting like meaningfully and whatnot a lot of the time. So like, you can see the ends of fights or like the ends of like wars, like big battles and shit going on a lot of the time, which is really fun. And there's decent lore for it too. You have to find it sometimes, but it's in there. It's good.
I do wish like if you sided with like a group of like, if there's two groups fighting, I wish if you sided one of them, they would like stop aggroing after and be like, "Yo, you're chill." Like,
yeah.
Don't attack that guy. Like,
it's like no,
they just like fuck you, dude. Like,
everybody fucks you.
Kill them. Like,
it doesn't
free for all.
It doesn't matter.
This game doesn't have like a red bar for enemies and a green bar for like the innocent squirrel. Like that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Fucking I was trying to kill this bat, right? So I the bat didn't know I was there. I full charged a fucking like a fireball, threw it at the bat, and the onlooking bunny rabbit caught on fire too and died. And the other bunny rabbit from like 20 yards away freaked out and started running. I'm like, no, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't. I hate that. Like, we need a different life bar for like the goat than we do for the dragon.
Yeah,
like, it makes sense to me. Which is especially because like a sheep isn't going to attack me. If they do, I'll just laugh, right? Mm-hmm. That like, but sometimes it's ambiguous. Like you'll see a crab. Maybe the crab's chill. Maybe the crab's not chill. I don't know. It's a crab. Like he's like, "Hey, crab, what's up?" And then he's like biting the shit out of me. He's like, "Okay, well, this is clearly an enemy." And I killed him. So yeah, it's just I know it's for cookbooks and shit and for crafting, but I don't really want to kill animals. Like when I play video games, I want to suspend belief and immerse myself into something. And I don't want to be the guy who kills like cute woodland animals. That's not fun to me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill like a Galapagos turtle. Like those things are like extinct. Like they're endangered. Like I don't want to kill that. But anyway, I'm sorry, go on.
There's a really nice moment I encountered where like I got, it was like one of the later areas and I got to like the end of this like it was like this off path on like a courtyard or something, and there's just like a dog sitting there at the end, and it's like I feel like they put that there expecting just most people to kill him, but he looked like a regular enemy, but he was just chilling. I can't remember if there's like a master he was near or something that was dead or something, but I just walked away. I didn't want to kill him, so I just was like, "You chill, I won't fuck with you. Like, you're doing your thing. You're just looking at the sunrise or whatever." So there's some nice moments like that with the regular enemies. Like if you actually, take into account, like, don't try to kill fucking everything, because there are some just chill animals in this game, and it's like, it kind of sucks when you accidentally kill them. So I definitely agree with that. Also, it's hard sometimes, like, when you're on horseback, it's hard for me to differentiate, like, regular people and enemies. Like, there's, like, a blind lady sitting near, like, a fucking...
Oh, dude, what'd you do?
And I accidentally ran up and fucking smacked her right in the face with my giant-ass hammer, and she's like, "Ah!"
Dude.
And I was like, "Oh, shit!" Like, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Dude, she had a blindfold on.
Yeah, she told me she was blind. I was like, "Fuck! I'm sorry, I didn't know."
Like, normally you don't fight things with blindfolds on in this game.
Now you can't get the good ending.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm glad they don't aggro after like one hit. It takes a few hits, but yeah, that's happened to me more than once where I'll attack someone I didn't mean to.
I remember that from Eris's playthrough. After he beat that boss, he was so salty he like attacked that dude who's there like stomping on Godric's head or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like giving him shit.
It was like, dude, because that guy was just like, "But I'm free now."
Yeah, Eris killed him with a piece of shit.
I was free.
Wait, I might be with Eris on this. Wasn't that guy stealing your runes when you died?
You didn't know that at that point, though.
Was he? I didn't know he was stealing your runes.
That is the guy. Yeah.
I did not know that. How did you see
I
that he
didn't
was
know-
stealing your runes? What the hell? I want to know about that.
Apparently, like if you kill him, then nothing happens or something. Like no, because I was wondering that too. I was like, what the fuck is stealing my runes? But yeah, apparently it's that dude.
I've-
What's like?
I've
can you
never
blame me? He's
had my
fucking
runes
poor.
stolen, though. What are you talking about? When are your runes stolen?
If you die in Stormvale, your half of your runes get taken away. So
Oh, I
yeah,
guess I just never fucking die in Stormvale.
yeah.
Well, look at this guy over here.
I
Yeah.
know, dude. I just don't even notice. This fucking numbers. What's
Yeah.
going on down there? I don't know. I got my souls back as a yes or no question. I don't like look at the the numbers to see
Yeah, I
like.
almost never remember if I do. Only early on do I give a shit.
And I'm also not like, how many did I have? Is this like the exact amount?
Right.
Like I have no idea what's going on. I'm
I
happy
read like
if I
some
get 'em.
people. Some people do calculations and they're like, "This is how many I need to get back." So I'm gonna go grind for that. Me, I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, fuck that. You don't need to worry about that shit. It's not that big of a deal."
I can't believe that happens. I never knew that until right now. That dude's stealing half your
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I don't actually like it as a mechanic because I understood that when you died, you did not lose your runes as long as you got them back. So when I get my runes back, I would find some of that shit was missing. I was like, did I fundamentally misunderstand something about the game? Do you get penalized when you die and I just didn't notice till now? Or is it after you hit a certain level? No, it turns out this guy was just stealing my shit.
But that's really fucking interesting though, because some people will some people won't like that because it is like, no, you told me this, and like I like my game to be explain to me the
Consistent.
rules,
Yeah.
and follow the rules after you explain them to me, and that's totally understandable. And then some people will look at that and be like that makes the game interesting and the world feel more real.
I agree if the rules are consistent, but when a random guy starts stealing your stuff, like imagine
also-
X-Men X, when you lose in a certain level, part of your life bar disappears, right? Like that's how it feels to me.
It also like I feel like it would be better if you actually saw him coming up and like taking something, but instead they just disappear for no reason. And I was left with that too. I was like, why are half my souls being taken? Like it happens at too early of an area, I think, where it's like souls are kind of necessary at that part because you want to level and get better and shit.
I can.
I
see
think it
that.
should happen kind of maybe mid game.
I mean,
Well, the cutscene would have helped so much. Like that would have been good storytelling, where that little asshole's just laughing, looking at my runes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this about? And then after that point, when I noticed my runes are disappearing, I realized like, oh, okay, that guy's stealing my stuff. That makes sense. That's
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
so
I
wait,
agree.
so you only find out if you kill him?
I only found out by reading about it. I only heard someone saying that was the dude that took your souls. And I'm like, oh, okay. And if you kill him, they don't get taken anymore.
And I found out through Eris's stream. I just heard it
Yeah.
with his chat.
Ah, that's
So I don't even know if there's anything in game that actually tells you that. It's just killing him and then noticing he doesn't. I don't know if there is.
I mean, I'm not condemning or condoning here. I'm just like going through it, understanding.
I mean, the only real in-game like explanation is that he's very clearly shady when you first meet him. You know this guy's up to something. He's laughing his ass off, and you don't know why, right? Like that's the only thing that indicates that something weird's going on. But I would have never connected the two ever.
Especially because he's so far away. Like, how the hell is he getting the castle when you die that far? Like, there should be like a radius, like of how close you are in the castle. If you were like super far, then it doesn't happen. Because how the fuck is he gonna get that far?
Well, then it's
My
like, how
guess-
much time is like between whenever you die and you resurrect, and
Right.
we don't know that shit.
It would be cool if he was if you like backtrack quick enough, you can see him following you. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's technically employed. Like some of the enemies look like him.
Right.
So it's just like, I'm nothing to see here. Just at work. Another day.
Yeah.
Just
That's
at the
true.
work.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
But like, if he was like following you like Gollum, that would be really interesting. Like, man, if I had seen him following me and like, is this where my runes are going? That would have been such an experience.
yeah, that would have been a thing. I agree.
It's a very Patches move.
It is. Speaking
I'm
of
surprised
which,
it wasn't Patches.
that bitch is in here.
Yeah, he has he has one of the best jokes in this game. It's the hardest I've ever laughed at a Souls game. And do you want me to spoil it?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
what
spam
is it?
Okay. You can summon him in the Radon fight, which is one of the, like the hardest fights in the game pre-patch. And you can summon like a bunch of people, and you can summon Patches. And the minute he gets there, he goes home. It says Patches has returned home. It's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
It made me laugh so hard seeing that. I was like, oh my god.
See, I did that fight, and I always like whenever it said like, "Oh, you can summon fuck Patches." I'm not summoning that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I
tight.
expected him to just die in one hit, but no, he leaves.
That's what I thought. That's tight.
Yeah. That was just like, oh my god, that's so smart.
I'm glad FromSoft knows what we're thinking. GG's, they're
Yeah.
in on it.
Yeah, I like Patches' inclusion.
I was like, what is he even doing here? Of all the fucking people that you come across.
He's
Because
ready.
there's some sick NPCs that you can summon for that fight.
Oh yeah, there is.
Some really
I like,
sick ones.
Yeah. Some of them, I don't think, I don't know if you can meet some of them in the game. Like, at least as far as I know, I don't know if I ever met some of them, but like the dude with the fat armor, the Lionel dude or whatever, with the Kung Lao hat and the.
He has to
You
be
gave me his
somewhere.
armor.
Yeah, he has to be
Yeah.
somewhere. Where did I get his armor?
Maybe you can meet them. There was some that like it was weird because some of them in the courtyard are summons already, and then there's some that are just already present. Like, but
That's
I don't know if
true.
is that because you met them in the game already? Because I met Blight and Alexander already, so I don't know if you hadn't met them already. Then they're gonna be the white summons. I don't know. I don't know. How that works.
That seems like that would be how it works. How it would work. If you haven't met them yet, they would just be the white summons. But maybe
Yeah,
not. I
'cause
don't know.
Some of them that I wasn't able to talk to, and I wondered why. I don't know if there's a game reason for that.
Where did I get the fat armor?
Yeah, I never found that shit.
I have no idea where I found the fat armor. I had to get it somewhere. I don't know. Game fucking mysteries. Even though I did it. Yeah, there's the thing that happens later in the game, Timp, a boss fight that's particularly cool. That one is particularly cool. That's a cool boss fight.
I really like that fight. A lot of people dislike it, and I don't understand why. I thought it was really sick.
I thought it was
And the
really good.
spectacle of it was something that wasn't in any Souls game before.
Yeah, it was really, really unique.
That was the first fight where I was like getting hype over it, where I'm like, this is fucking sick. Like,
And it took me a while to
Yeah.
figure out. Like I told you at first, I was like, I'm not summoning because that's just gonna like make it harder, or that's gonna do
Yeah.
this other thing. It's like, no, that's not what this fight's about. Nope.
yeah.
You go in there
It's
and
not the invisible guy, right?
an invisible guy. Who's
Oh,
the invisible
no.
guy?
Someone else.
No. This is like one of the main dudes. You see him in like the beginning of the game and all the art. He's the big motherfucker.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's another topic, by the way. Like, when I played Dark Souls on Xbox 360, I could not believe how good that cutscene looked for its time.
Which
Like-
cutscene?
In the first Dark Souls on Xbox?
Like the beginning
the
cutscene?
intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay,
intro cutscene.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
so good for when that game came out.
Mhm.
So I was a little surprised when Elden Ring kind of had like a children's book opening.
Yeah.
That
That
was a little, it's not a criticism, by the way. I just thought that was kind of strange.
That was surprising.
Did Sekiro have a cinematic intro? I can't
Yes,
remember.
It did.
Okay.
It did.
That's
It had
weird.
a good one too, actually, because that's the only part of the game I played.
Yeah. It was good. You saw the little kid get a scar on his face.
I think this is the first Souls game without a cinematic intro.
I think it is.
And you're right, Tim, because I skipped that shit. I saw 20 seconds. It was taken. That dude was fucking rambling about some shit. The Elden Ring, the Tarnished. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I want to play the fucking game. I'll watch this shit later. And that's what happened. I watched it 100 hours later, and I was like, that's a good intro. It's solid.
Well,
But I wouldn't have given a fuck about any of that if I didn't know the characters already. So, like, yeah.
That was a fun
Yeah.
thing too, because that intro didn't like lay out for you the bosses of the game. The game like talked to you about a bunch of your allies, which the games don't
Yeah.
normally do. They did the opposite.
Mhm.
I imagine there was going to be a very wild cinematic, and all the money for that part of the budget went straight to R.R. Martin.
Well,
So-
what's really weird is those like there's commercials and shit out there with really sick versions of that intro. Like in full fucking mode. Like you can Google it shit right now, or don't Google it, just YouTube it. And like yeah, there's really sick cinematic commercials for this game with all that shit. Like you guys saw it too. Like when the game was announced, we saw that shit. That chick like putting her arm back on and then doing all that shit.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
I totally forgot about that. I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
go rewatch that.
I never saw that to begin with. I pretty much ignored Elden Ring. I really had no intention of playing it for the longest time. And the only reason why I decided to jump on it now was because I was telling Django this before we started the podcast. Historically, this is the first time I think everyone in the Discord has jumped on a Souls game on release at the same time. And I'm like, this is cool. This is probably not going to happen again for a very long time, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I got to Bloodborne late. I bought it for $29.99 at Best Buy. And then I talked to other people who played Bloodborne like 10 years ago. They like got their associate's degree from Bloodborne University, and they already knew everything. And I didn't want that to happen again. I'm like, I want us all to be on the same page. And what's cool about Elden Ring is it's very clear to me we've all had somewhat unique experiences, right?
Definitely.
The flip side of that is, although I love the open world in this game, I don't want them to do it again. I would, after seeing Stormvale, I'm like, part of me wishes the whole game was like Stormvale.
Yeah.
So I would not change anything about Elden Ring in terms of like game design, or at least world design. But I would like to go back to the Metroidvania after this. That's
I would agree. Especially with Stormvale. Stormvale feels like a Dark Souls like 3 area to me, or like Demon Souls, especially in design. But I agree. I don't like that's the whole thing I was thinking the entire time I played this game was like I don't see the appeal of the open world outside of visuals and like just being able to like just an amazing open world design. But like I don't feel like the rewards are good enough. I don't feel like the boss diversity is good enough. Like you were saying, like I've found very few like bosses in the just open world that were like interesting or like worth like, you know, any of the best Bloodborne bosses or anything. And I don't know. I feel the same way. I don't want another open world game. I feel like it's too big to the extent of like it's overwhelming for me. I know that like some people that's their thing. Like they love spending 100+ hours in an open world and like they never get bored of it. But I definitely got burnt out by the end of this game, and it was a struggle to finish for me. Like even just doing the main questline shit, I was getting burnt out. Like I skipped a lot of the optional stuff. I'm gonna go back and do that now on my second playthrough. I'm gonna focus on the optional content because my first playthrough I always want to just do the required content, and then I kind of get to the optional stuff later. Like with Bloodborne, I just did the required stuff first, and then like my second playthrough, I started loving it a lot more once I did all the optional stuff. But this game, it's like I don't know if it'll be worth it. I'm sure there's like
quality drop for sure on the options.
Yeah. There, like you said, there's lots of reused bosses. Like there's like something like over 100 bosses in this game or some shit, but a lot of those are reused. And there's like maybe 30 or 40 unique bosses, like in total.
I think that's a big part of the thing, though. Like if the content and whatnot, like you're expecting to fill up the open world as bosses, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah.
But like that's for me. I am liking the open world the more of a chance that I give it, and I'm just giving it that now. After I've like already kind of finished one run of the game, and I feel like the game is the game itself really is opening up more. The more that I like stop and look at it without like trying to run through it with the fucking run button down. But I still definitely do think that the growing pains show big time on them trying to do an open world for the first time. I think that's definitely there. Big time.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of things with this open world they've done really, really well. Better than a lot of other games that I think they've tried it. But as far as like, if you're expecting like really good bosses, optional bosses to populate the world, I don't think that that's something that you're gonna find. Like, yeah, you're definitely gonna be disappointed if that's the case.
Like the 5th dragon that popped down and started blowing some bullshit at me. I ran past every single one of them. I don't want to fucking fight another dragon. I don't give a shit.
I agree. I
They're
definitely
fucking
agree.
annoying to fight. They're not fun. Stop
Yeah.
throwing dragons at me. I don't want them.
I'm not even into dragons in the first place. The first fucking dragon hunt, I was like, "Fuck! I don't fucking care. It's a dragon."
Yeah.
I've fought dragons before. I've seen dragons before. Like this, I don't get the novelty. Listen, I've been
For
blown
me-
up about this before about dragons in general. I don't give a fuck if it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Dragons aren't fucking cool just because they're a dragon. You pop a dragon down in something,
Well,
I'm not gonna get hype.
I think it's cool for 5 seconds. Like when I was at the lake, like, and I didn't know a dragon was going to show up. Then it was cool. It's like, oh my god, that's a fucking dragon. And then, but like, you're right. Like 10 like once you figure out the pattern, like 15 seconds into the fucking match, it's a bunch of crabs watching you fight a dragon.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not fun anymore. I agree.
Uh,
But it is cool though. If you don't know there's a dragon, it's tight.
Yeah. I mean, even then, like, the first dragon I encountered was in that giant lake, and it dropped down. I fought it for 5 minutes, got it to 10% health, and I get one shot. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what the reward is. I'm not fighting this bitch.
no.
Well, there's a dragon island, and I assume the dragon stuff lets you. But okay, that's another problem with the game. Like, apparently, like the dragon shit you do leads to some sort of corruption. And now that I know there's like a million endings, now I'm scared to do anything that's going to corrupt me.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I have no idea what all the endings are. I got the one. I have no idea what if it was good or bad. I don't
Well,
know what the fuck it.
That's
you-
a problem with a game, in my opinion, right?
Well, I mean, again, this thing is like really objective the way the other stuff is. I mean, that's how FromSoft does things overall. Like, hey, here's something that happened. What do you think? What do you feel about
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I get that. Like, I don't.
What was your?
I don't-
Do you want to
yeah.
say what your ending was? Do you want to spoil an ending? Because I think it might have been the same one as I got. I'm not, I
I
don't know.
literally don't know what happened, and I was kind of zoning out during it anyway. Like, I was kind of just like, I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like, I don't know what this, because like the end boss cutscene happened. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and then shit goes black, and then I'm sitting on a throne, and that was it.
Yep, that
I'm
was
like,
my ending. That was
I-
the same one as I got.
My character looked tight, but
Yep.
I'm like, did everything get fucked because I didn't do the optional shit? Like, it said the land is fractured or something. Now I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah. That's exactly the one that I got. And it
For
did look
me,
tight because I had a sick Alucard build going on at the end of this game, and he looked hella like Alucard.
Yeah,
So
that
the-
probably looked tight.
So the end of it was just him sitting on a throne, Alucard sitting on a throne, and some dude like narrating, and that was it. And I was like,
So it's
well,
actually Reiko's MK4 ending. Then.
it kind of was,
Pretty
yeah.
much, yeah. Honestly,
And it's honestly, it's like, I mean, I was still happy with it because I had fought so much fucking bullshit to get this
Okay,
far. I'm
so-
like, okay, I'm cool. I'm in a
If I
throne.
was in your shoes and I know there's 5 more endings, I'm thinking like, so did I get the good ending and the shitty ending? Is there's not a throne at all and my character walks away? Like, I don't know. There needs to be like a PSN trophy that says the bad ending, LOL, or something.
yeah.
Something to tell me if my ending was good or bad, so I know if I need to keep going or not, right?
I think for me, like, it was just really, really, really brief. And,
It was. That's why I said like I could barely remember it.
and at the very end of it, he was like, because the storyteller dude comes back, right? The same dude from the beginning, the intro. He's like, oh, the ye dead who fucking live again and shit. And, you know, that guy comes back. He's like, the Elgin Lord, you, and
Yeah.
this is the age of fracture, is what he says. And
Okay.
it's Alucard fucking sitting on his throne, and then it boom cuts to black, and I was like, okay, that's probably not the full complete ending. That was probably, you know, this guy comes along, he's a good ruler compared to what came before, but it didn't actually fix the overall problem.
Well, that's what I like about Bloodborne, though. All 3 endings in Bloodborne are the good ending from a certain point of view.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool, right? What you told me was a not good from a certain point of anything. It's
Yeah.
wow. I don't know, man.
I really, yeah, like that's what I love about Bloodborne is like there's 3 endings. You can get all of them relatively easily. They're not like even like the third one, like the optional one where it's like you have to collect the chords, isn't that hard. You can do that like naturally just playing through the game and remembering where they are. I do that option like just to fight the optional boss sometimes. But like 6 fucking endings, dude. I'm not gonna go through the game 6 fucking times, especially with how big it is. I don't give a shit. Like I just can't. They need to scale it down a bit. Like Why did we jump from 3 to fucking 6? Like 6 endings is just a bit much in my opinion.
I think Sekiro had 5 or 6. I love Sekiro. I love Sekiro.
Mhm.
I love it. But that's a lot of endings.
Yeah.
that is a lot of endings. And I think as of like about maybe 4 months ago, I actually did all of the endings, I think.
Mhm.
No, that's not even true. I did all the endings a long time ago because I got platinum. I don't remember a goddamn one of them. But apparently I did them because I do remember getting platinum. But still, no, that's a lot. That's too many endings.
Yeah. What would you say, like, for Bloodborne? What would you say, like, the bad ending is for, like, most people?
I mean, in my opinion, I would say the bad ending is the true ending. But that's my opinion, though.
What's the
Most
true
people say the
ending?
reverse. That's when you turn into a tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
That's, in my opinion, the actual bad ending.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
would
of people
agree
say
with
the
that.
actual bad ending is when you wake up from the dream.
Dude, that's my favorite ending. Is
Yeah.
the waking up to the sunrise one. I love that ending because it, like, first of all, it's like there's like a future first of all, and it's like good or bad, it's still a future, and it's like the sun's come now, looks better than fucking before. Like, who
It's the live
knows?
in the moment ending.
Yeah, it's like you may have fucked up, may have not, but you know, you get up, you walk, and there's something after that. I don't like the great one ending where you turn into that. I got that. Wait, is that the one where you collect the chords?
I don't remember how to
I
get it.
don't
It's
remember.
the ending I got. Spoiler warning for those who have not played Bloodborne, by the way. The one I got was the one where you get a wheelchair. That's the ending I got.
I think that's the one I got too the first time. I can't remember what the requisite is for the sunrise one. I can't even remember. I remember the chord one, but I honestly can't remember what you have to do for the. Oh, refuse or accept. That's it. Okay.
That was it.
And accepting gives you the wheelchair one, and refusing you wake up. Yeah.
I mean, the one where you wake up is the one that's like nothing's really
I
happened.
refused though. That's the thing. Did I not? Maybe it's been so long, right? But
because I think like Gurman chops your head off and then you wake up.
Yeah.
I think that's what I think people say that ending's bad because you don't get to fight Gurman, which I get, but it's also it's still not...
And I fought the Squid Moon thing. So I didn't get the Squid ending. I had to YouTube the Squid ending. I got the wheelchair ending, even though I fought the Squid Moon thing.
Weird.
So I don't know actually. I feel like if you do the bare minimum, you get the wake up to the new dawn ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you just like get to the end, you walk up to him, and you don't do anything, then you get to wake up.
Yeah.
I remember struggling so bad against Gurman. Man, I thought he was way harder than the Moon Squid.
Mm-hmm. He is. The Moon Squid's pretty fucking easy.
Okay, so I'm not.
It's a shit boss fight. Yeah.
Do y'all feel like this game benefited from George R.R. Martin? Because it's still Bloodborne.
Well,
not Bloodborne, but Souls games still feel very Mad Libs to me.
I don't think I don't think it's really possible to tell.
I don't know what his involvement was outside of world building, and I don't think he wrote anything for it. I think he just built the world that's based around. I think he just built the world essentially, and then Miyazaki made the characters and the story and everything.
And like Japanese game development.
What do you mean built the world?
Like just like created like the lands between and everything, and like the lore behind like the areas, or not. I don't even know if he did that much, but as far as I know, he didn't actually like write any of the lore like that's in the game. I think he just basically gave them like a base, like here's the world, like it's based around Elden Ring or whatever the fuck, and like these families have at it or some shit.
Okay, so like a lore skeleton that Miyazaki kind of insert things into.
Built off of,
Yeah.
I don't think he wrote anything for the game like that's in the game.
But how much did he get paid for that?
I have no idea. I mean,
Probably
considering
a
it's him,
lot.
yeah.
And I mean,
and
like,
we also, I don't think it's ever like, I don't think we know how much he did. Like, I don't think they should come out and say that honestly, because it's a little weird that like they advertise the game as like having like this collaboration, and then like it really doesn't like feel like a whole lot of.
But you're never gonna hear that. You're never gonna hear it because Japanese game development being what it is, like we still never really know. Like, okay, what parts of which games do Miyazaki do?
Right.
And which parts do he not do? Like we don't know.
Yeah.
And Japanese game development's always been that way. Like
Mhm.
fucking
It's
how
all-
did Mario fucking whatever? I saw some dank ass shit of somebody who like some old Japanese guy who like came up and there was some graph paper and it had like the original levels of Mario like mapped out on it like square by square for the like the pixel shit and it was super sick. But like
That's wild.
yeah, you would never see that shit normally. And normally
Mhm.
that shit still wouldn't even exist. And Japanese game development, like they just don't like you don't see big interviews and whatnot with Japanese dudes usually
Yeah.
like talking about their process, about how they go into this and what Tanimura did and what Miyazaki did over here and like what
They're
all
very
this shit.
private and like humble and shit.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So like if you ever did hear about it, it would be from George R. R. Martin, I guess. And depending on how much they like, listen, we'd rather you not talk about this, or we would rather you only talk about this and whatnot. But if it did come out, like probably the most you'd ever know is from him specifically.
That's what he said. Like I watched a small little snippet of him talking about the game, and he didn't even seem to know like a whole lot about it. Like he was just like, yeah, I did some work with that and did the world, and yeah.
Well, stuff like this is more common in movies. It's possible they just bought the name. Like, I mean, it's so easy to put a celebrity's name behind it, like Stephen King's Sonic Adventure 3, right? It's
Right.
so easy. Anyone can do it.
It is.
That would be fucking.
But I don't
crazy.
think that it's really necessary though for something like this game was gonna fucking sell no matter what just because it had
Yeah.
Miyazaki and it was fucking like from
To Dark Souls fans, I agree. I think
You think
it
this
did-
game like branched out from there a lot?
I want to say it did. I feel like this is the most like non-Souls players we've ever had for a
Oh,
Souls
easily.
game, right?
Easily. This is also sold. I think Bloodborne sold 3 million. This sold 12 million already, and that's
Oh my god, that's like Smash Brothers Ultimate numbers. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
it's easily the most.
And you think that's because of George R. R. Martin?
I don't know. I think part of it is. I think he threw an extra 2 million on there, maybe.
I think it's definitely like people that weren't intrigued by Dark Souls before. I can see like the casuals that like Game of Thrones and shit will see that name and be like, oh shit, like maybe this game, like since it's separate from Dark Souls, they feel the need to check out now. On top of it being open world and more accessible to new players, I think that's a lot to do with the sales. I've also never seen a game that is still talked about like nearly a month fucking later, and I still see so many posts about it. Like everyone's still playing this fucking shit like a month later because there's just so much content.
There's a lot.
Like,
Posts
that
and
surprised
arguments
me.
as well.
Yeah. I think people like that are, like criticizing the game are getting a lot of backlash, but I think the more time goes on, like there's going to be more criticism of the game because it's just a lot of people just got sucked into that honeymoon phase, and I did too for like at least a week or so, but after you play it more and more, at least for me, like it just wore down more and more, and it's really hard to form a complete opinion on the game.
Yeah.
Like I really just don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, that's why like it's probably good to end the episode on like the Souls tier list because and we're not married to anything. We can change our minds later. There's no law that says that
Yeah.
whatever we say is going to be final. But I don't know. It's very interesting to me. It's almost a shame this is the most popular Souls game because visually, I think it is by far the blandest.
I wouldn't say that.
I disagree.
Yeah, I think Dark Souls
Interesting.
3 would be the blandest. Unless you want to go with Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, holy
Dark Souls 2 and 3
shit.
are definitely blander than this game. I would say Dark Souls 3 for me is the blandest. Like I get so bored of that game just by looking at it. And that's like the theme of the game is just it's lore consistent, but it's like it's so fucking boring and gray and shitty.
This
The game-
game has like
yeah.
a lot of variety when it comes, but you have to like you do have to keep going. You do have to
Yeah.
like get through the game to see all the variety it has. But it has some places that's like this is the most like fucking colorful Zelda beautiful like whatever place that FromSoft's ever done ever,
Yeah.
including Sekiro. And Sekiro had some pretty colorful environments. Like they were like it wasn't just like grim dark looking medieval fantasy shit. Like it branched out, and this game does too. But right at the beginning, not so much.
Yeah, I should have. I should have chose my words a little more carefully because I've only played 2 Souls games, technically 0 Souls games, right? So I think what I should have said was, "Man, is it not as interesting as Bloodborne visually?"
Yeah.
That's what I should have said. Because it's like you go from Bloodborne, which is basically London, like just covered with eldritch horror and werewolves for some reason, and then you get to Elden Ring, which is I guess New Zealand. It's just, it doesn't really. It's like, well, what about New Zealand? It's like, well, I kind of like demonic London, but New Zealand. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool. I guess I'll go to New Zealand now. This meadow's all right. And then you get to the bosses, and they're just like, this guy's a tree. This guy's a tree with more arms. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
And also, like, the mimic chest, right, transported me back to Bloodborne temporarily. It's like the beach resort in Bloodborne. And,
Yeah.
that was very interesting. God, I wish I played more of this game so I'd have more to say about that. So, I don't know. Man, it's a shame I couldn't play more, but I'm not done yet.
Yeah. You're not far off from most of your opinions. Like, most of them are very valid, and I would disagree visually. Like, I think this game is actually one of the nicer looking FromSoft games. And just a lot of areas where I would just stop and, like, admire how, like, beautiful it looked. Especially I actually like the early area a lot, where, like, you see the tree sentinel, and it's like I love the color scheme and like the green and the blue sky and everything. And I also like the addition of like night, day, and
oh yeah, the day-night cycle.
that adds a lot of variety for me.
With the enemies, for sure, I love that. Like,
Yeah.
when you're on the bridge and you haven't met the Black Knight, the
Yeah,
Sable
that
Knight
guy.
that chases you,
Yeah.
that freaked me out. I was like, "What? You're not.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?"
Yeah, that was some Simon's Quest bullshit.
Yeah,
That was
that's
pretty
so
tight.
cool that they're unique bosses based on night and day. That is really cool.
Oh,
I just
Ocarina
like-
of Time
yeah.
did that too, but not nearly as well. But go on.
I was just gonna say I just love, like, you know, exploring an area in the day and then at night looks completely different, which can also lead to some confusion where it's like I don't know where the fuck I am.
Yeah,
Because like I kind of visually like connect that with the sky in Bloodborne sometimes, like what area you're at or what stage in the game you're at based on the sky.
yeah.
And that can be confusing for me when I'm exploring. That's kind of why I just ran past everything, because I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at, and I can't remember where I'm at. But yeah, I just think visually, like, there are a lot of interesting areas, and I think it gets worse as the game goes on. Like, some of the later areas really start to get boring and like feel like just like, oh, we need like a seasonal area here. So here's fall, here's winter, here's fucking spring. Here's destroyed Bloodborne shit, and then ends on fiery Dark Souls 3 shit.
The Ashen whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That sucks. That really sucks.
It does feel like very much like a combination of like almost every Souls game with just a little bit of Bloodborne in there, not a whole lot.
It does.
I figured it'd be like, I thought Bloodborne was gonna be like the second half of the game when I got through that mine. I figured like, okay, this is all like a facade. And the reality, once you get past the edge of the map, is horrifying, and that's where, you know, the great big asshole's waiting for you to fight at the end of the game. And maybe it sounds like that's not correct.
I mean, what? That's Caelid, and Caelid is like it's kind of like Outworld, but it's red.
Yeah, I thought Caelid would be like more of an in-game area, but it's really not. It's kind of just a side optional area. It's
That's
kinda...
strange. I would have never fucking guessed that.
Yeah, when I got there, I was like, yo, this is some in-game shit. I shouldn't be here. But then it's like, it's not as difficult as you think. I'm like, that's kind of weird.
Did you like the plateau area, D4?
Plateau.
Atlas or Altus?
Is that like the capital place?
Well, yeah, but it's like the area all around it, the big yellow land.
I like that area, but that's also what I was saying with like the fall. Like, I don't mind how it looks. It just felt like very much like we need to hit these beats, so let's make it all yellow and shit. It looked really nice. I really like exploring it and shit. It was a really nice looking area, but yeah.
And it was like they talked about it. It was supposed to be for like lore reasons. The Erd tree like is golden, and like that's where the Erd tree is, so everything is golden at that point.
Oh, okay.
But it does kind of come off like what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
It is a thing.
And that's one of the later areas, sort of. I didn't find that until like 50 hours or something.
Yeah, it's there. Well, yeah, that's one of the laters, and then you get to the weird ashen shit. Anyway,
so Godric.
Godric.
Yeah, I think
What are we talking? I guess that's like a cool, memorable moment. Is a topic that one could do there.
Okay.
Akin to a cleric beast from Bloodborne, but there's probably not a cleric beast of this game. At least there's not yet. No, there's not a cleric beast in this game. That type of moment. And I'm not talking about like specifically. I'm talking about like they're like, what the fuck? And this dude jumps over the thing. But, like, in this game, maybe, like, that Godric moment is the closest thing, sorta. And one that maybe a lot of people, more people at least, got to experience. Like Temp. Temp was going to say something about Godric.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that I thought he was significantly easier than Margit. I feel like Margit should have been the second boss, to be honest with you. But you don't get that training mode moment, right? So I think it's just weird that I can't remember any moment in Bloodborne where I took down half of a boss's life and I went into a cinematic. Nothing like that sticks out to me right now.
That happened.
Yeah.
I think there's only
well, there's Lawrence.
There's Lawrence, and then there's Ludwig and
Lawrence.
Ludwig. I'm sorry, I meant Ludwig.
Well, Lawrence, that happens too, but he kind of just falls apart. There's no cutscene, but Ludwig does have a mid cutscene.
Yeah.
Isn't Ludwig DLC though?
Yeah, those are both DLC.
Okay, that's why I never played any of the DLC.
Yeah.
I didn't even New Game Plus it, to be honest with you. I got to the troll with an axe, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this twice, man. Not yet.
I'm trying to think if there's any main game bosses that have that happen.
I mean, probably. It's been a good while. And I promised myself if I did play the game ever again, it would be when I could play it at 60 frames per second.
Well, we're all waiting for that.
I think Mikolash that happens with, because no, that's only if you get caught or whatever. I can't remember if that happens.
I never got caught.
Yeah, I can't remember if that happens. There's like 2 different cutscenes during that fight, so yeah, I don't know. But it doesn't happen like how it happens with Godric. And that's something they do a few times in this game. The mid cutscene.
Yeah. Was that something that you liked, Temp, or was that something you didn't like?
I liked Godric a lot just because I thought he was so much more fun than Margit, because I didn't have to play this crazy defensive game. I could kind of go on the offense and just so I can control the pace of the match in many ways.
Yeah.
Because if you're willing to charge him, you can actually bypass a lot of his bullshit, especially once he's the dragon.
I agree. D4 and I talked about, like, they're easy to get confused because they're so close together, and they kind of look alike. And I thought that they looked a little bit too much alike too to be so close.
Yes, I agree. Well, they both look like tree people. What's that?
They do.
No, that was a complaint of mine, that it's like you put the 2 first main bosses very close together and they have very similar designs. And I think that was maybe a mistake, because they're both good bosses, but they're not like particularly interesting to look at. Like, I don't know, fucking Gascoigne is, or a boss like that.
I agree.
So I think that was a weird choice to put those back to back.
Margit especially, I don't feel like he's that interesting to look at. Godric, his whole deal of being grafted is part of the deal, and then halfway through the fucking fight, he grafts a fucking dragon head to his arm, which is the only way that you can make me really care about a dragon, and they did. So good job.
There's so much going on with their designs. Like, I don't even know what they look like. I just know they look hideous and weird. He takes his cloak off and there's more shit. There's arms everywhere and a fucking dragon on his arm. I don't know where his head's at. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Yeah, a lot of the... Margit and Godric both look like they just rolled around in tree branches.
Yeah.
I don't really see anything distinctive.
Yeah, they wrapped a cloak around them and then called it a day. And they're both they both use gold shit, and they both have a not similar voice, but they're both talking about some random shit. You have no idea what the hell it means.
But they're not really they have no real association with each other though. Which is also odd. As far as the lore goes, because a lot of the bosses do have a lot of association. Mm-hmm. It turns out they're all siblings for one thing. They're all fucking whatever. And Godric is the bitch of the fucking. Of the clan. He's the little one who looks like shit.
Yeah.
A lot like Soul Reaver. Man, that is a similarity this game has with Soul Reaver, because you're fighting a bunch of siblings. Starting from the lowest and working your way up. which is something that I thought was cool in that last thing, because you come upon, what was it? Fucking what's his name? Um, who? What is it? Godfrey. Godfrey.
Godfrey. There's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of God. Yeah.
yeah. There's a
Oh,
lot
I
of
was
God ones.
joking when I said Gottfried earlier. There's actually a boss named Gottfried.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
Godfrey.
I was
Well,
thinking,
Godfrey.
Godfrey. Oh, my bad. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, no, I was making fun of Godric earlier, but oh my god, now I feel horrible.
Yeah.
Godfrey is his dad, I believe. And when you come up on him, he's like holding Margit, or not. No, I'm sorry, the other one, Morgott.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Morgott. Like, isn't he? Is that right? Like, isn't he doing that? I thought he was like holding
doing
Morgott's
what?
holding Morgott's body because you've already beaten him there in that same place, and like saying some shit about him because that's his son, allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, you fight Godfrey later on at the same spot.
And he says,
I
that
guess
shit.
that's what happens. Yeah.
And he like, and I also learned that fucking shit that he says whenever he like changes his name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but that's also Nefeli's last name too.
Yeah, Pot told me that.
And she's also of the warrior class, which is why I guess he says that he's blah 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 Lu warrior,
Yeah.
because they're both of the same like stupid whatever tarnished barbarian class. He's also tarnished. That's important too. Anyway,
I was interested in that character, the girl,
yeah.
and they added her quest line with a patch or something. So now there's actually something that happens.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was in the patch notes. They say added more, like, something to do with a quest line. I'm like, oh shit. So, because she just leaves and then I didn't think anything happened, but yeah, I wonder what happens now.
Oh, well, now I have to go check that shit out. I kind of want to too. Like, there's some stuff about the game that I want to go check out. Did you ever go down to the bottom? I'm spoiling a bunch of shit. Listen.
Oh, I mean, it's fine. Like, everyone has such a different experience.
Well,
I'd say go for it.
I mean, the one thing that I don't want to spoil, I was about to. Whatever's going on at like under Stormvale, I found that shit out like earlier today, and I started messing around down there. There's some interesting shit going on. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's crazy.
I don't know.
That's okay. We can leave it there.
I'd like to know though.
There's some shit down there. If you find a spot to drop off, it's there's some nutty shit down there that I don't know what the fuck it is. It's it felt a little Bloodborne-y, just a little bit.
Which is good. Like, I think the reason why I like that is because it's such a contrast, which I think this game visually needs.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all like the story of this game, by the way? As two people who have beaten it, do y'all think the story is good or smart? Or
I think that you do. I think you have to work for it, as you do with a lot of FromSoft games. I think Bloodborne is still my favorite, like by far.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I think Sekiro is after that one for me, second, as far as story goes. This one, I think the story is actually really good and better than I thought it was going in, and better than I thought it was going up to the end and whatever. But now, like looking back and going through it again and putting shit together, I think it fits together, and it's a lot cleaner and tighter of a story than FromSoft usually does.
Well, in Bloodborne, you just get if you don't look for the story, you just get a different kind of story.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if you were dropped into the middle of the movie Pumpkinhead, but you never run into the witch who tells you what Pumpkinhead is. You're just being chased by a monster that you have to defeat.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the experience. In Bloodborne, the story is the environment in many ways. And that's not what I get from Elden Ring. The story of the environment is New Zealand. That's not...
Yeah. The story is very much not like as much as just like drop into the city and like you're a detective feeling. That's what Bloodborne always feels like to me.
Right.
Like you're a detective figuring out what the fuck happened in this place and what's going on and what's all this bullshit about. And this one, like, there is a family. Like, there is a family that's fucking corrupting this place, and that's what all these bosses are.
7.
It's yeah. It's definitely Resident Evil 7. It's not Game of Thrones. There's no way it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Bloodborne, like, it's very haunting in a lot of ways. Like, there's like something like Yahar Ghul where you're walking through, and usually in areas there's no music playing, but you hear that chanting, and you hear like the moans and shit, and you see all those faces on the walls that have just been like all the people that just got fucking destroyed and are embedded in the rock now.
Yeah,
like that's such a fucked up area. and there's like the environments speak to the story once you understand everything. And I don't feel that way in this game at all. Like I don't like Pa was telling me about like the general story and everything, and it's kind of just families feuding and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all right.
Very George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, it feels very like just
Yeah, it's a thing.
standard, and I don't think there's like anything like how you saying with like the game and just the design and how like you expected it to be kind of like a twist almost where it like kind of reveals to be more than it appears to be on the surface. I don't think there is that for this game, and I don't think it's super interesting, and nothing that grabs me like Bloodborne does, where like Bloodborne is actually like a very good story when you piece the puzzle together and you understand the characters and like their motivations, and like it tells a very dark story, but there's also hope at the end, and it's like it also is ambiguous. Like some things can be seen as good or bad with the great ones and everything, and like your position in the world. And I don't feel that here. You're just trying to fucking get the Elden Ring and like gotta fight some bitches that like that want it too, and I don't really know what the game wants out of me to like go for that. Like, oh, you need the Elden Ring. Like, what for though? Like, what's my ultimate goal? Like for Dark Souls, there's a central goal and why you want to, extinguish the flame or relight it or whatever. Like, I don't feel like
In this one, like everybody's like, you go be the Elden Lord. Go be the Elden Lord.
yeah,
There's not the thing that I thought there was a ring. There's not a ring. I thought there was
Yeah.
going to be a ring, but which I'm happy there was never a ring. The ring was like, there's not a fucking ring. Like
it's
I
just
don't know.
literally a circle. It's like
It's barely even like it's like a series of runes and whatnot that kind
Yeah.
of go circular a little bit, but it's not really a ring. The ring is like just fucking I don't know. It is like the runes. Like it's a series of runes
just
that
a
are
mark,
broke apart. That and you need to go be the one to like clean up all this shit, get rid of these fucking weird fecal children, and like be like the central figure that reunites the land, because the
Mhm.
land and the children being separated is like the whole fucking problem. It's like
Yeah.
everything is separated. Go get rid of all this separation that's being caused by all these siblings. Kill them all, and you be the only one. And then there's just one ruler, and so it's cool again.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's telling you to do. That's
It
it.
feels like a metaphor for something, to be honest with you. And I could be wrong. There's almost like 100% chance I'm wrong. When I first started playing the game, and I started like looking at like the puzzle pieces of the story very early, I was like, this almost feels like a metaphor for gaming culture. Like you're tarnished and you're maidenless, and your mission is to go outside and like
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, what are they trying to tell me here?
Go outside.
That's actually smart. Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm right. I don't think. I hope I'm not.
I mean,
right.
and then you find the one bitch that gives you a hug.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you're like, it's better.
yeah.
Fia, that's I don't know what the fuck is up with that maiden chick either. I don't like
I don't
she's
either.
she's
Wait,
not your
y'all
normal.
don't? Y'all beat the game. Y'all don't know what's up with the maiden.
Yeah,
I don't-
disappointing. That's awful.
she's
I don't know.
she's not what she's not just a maiden. I know that much. I don't know more than that though. I think Pot does.
90% of the side characters, I don't know what the fuck is up with them. That's also part of it. Like, there's no like Solaire or like Alfred or like Walter for me in this game where it's like that side character is fucking sick. I don't
like
have
Blythe?
anyone like Blythe is cool. I will say he's like him and Alexander are the two that I really like, but they're still not like Alexander doesn't have much depth to him. Like he's kind
No.
of just a dude who wants to go fight in a tournament.
Yeah.
And that's tight. Like he's a giant jar that wants to fight in a tournament. That's fucking sick. But I don't know his backstory yet. I don't know if there's because he says he has like warriors inside of the jar and like all of them some Ermac shit. Like they all want to fight and
Oh, that's
like become the
tight.
greatest warrior or something. That's
Is-
what he was saying. To
Is that how the
me,
jar
but
people work?
I don't know because he like when he's after Radon, he's out there in the sand and his like pot is cracked, but he's like, "There's plenty of bodies here. I'm gonna use or some." I was like, "Whoa, that's kind of fucked up." I don't know why he wants bodies, but
That's tight.
if that's how he like gets his juice or whatever, I don't fucking know what's in there.
I never
But,
went and fucking
yeah.
talked to him again. That's tight.
But Blide's quest was disappointing to me because he's supposed to go co-op with you in the Eternal City after Radon, and he doesn't do that. He goes crazy or whatever the fuck, and he gets locked up, and then, like, apparently you have to fight him later. But I thought that was disappointing. I like the co-op shit. I want to go, like, fucking summon Walter for a boss and shit. I love that type of
That's interesting.
side character, and I thought they were setting him up to go, like, you can go... If you don't do his quest, then you don't encounter him there, but if you do, then you find him, but that's not the case. But those two are definitely, like, those are definitely cool. I forgot about them, but
I gotta see. This just tells me again, like, I gotta play it more before I'm gonna know for sure.
yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I can't fully comment on it yet, but I just know, like, world-wise, the setup doesn't intrigue me as much as, like you're saying, how Bloodborne's like a detective story. You
yeah.
just wake up and you find out what's going on and seek the pale blood. That's all you got, and then you don't know the backstory of your hunter. You kind of can make that yourself, like why they're there, what mission you're on, and shit. There's not as much of like a amnesia thing where it's like you don't know what came before. It's the same as Dark Souls where you're like you're weak and shit. You got to rise up and beat everything, and I'm just tired of that trope.
I don't think that most people still know what pale blood is.
Yeah.
What is pale blood? Allegedly, it's the fucking name of the moon presence.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
That's the thing. You can make your own story with Bloodborne. You can say what you thought is bullshit, and this is my take on it. Like, there's very different interpretations you can have with that game.
Bloodborne almost has a moral system because of that. Because I didn't get a lot of the extra stuff just because I didn't want to kill a pregnant woman. I didn't want to do some of the horrible things you have to do in Bloodborne. And I like that. I think that's good. I don't like when I hear things like, I need to play Elden Ring more to have an opinion. Because we talk about, like, not we as in us, but like the narrative is that Bloodborne precludes players through its difficulty. I would almost say that for Elden Ring specifically, it excludes players based on time. Mm-hmm. Like, you're both over 100 hours in, and you need to play it more. I don't know if I love that.
It's a huge time investment. That's one of my bigger problems with the game. If I didn't have as much free time, like, I don't know how the fuck game journalists were expected to finish this game in, like, 5 days or however long they had. There's no fucking way, unless you literally are given instructions and look shit. Like, you're not able to look shit up at that point. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure they were. They had to be given something like that. Or I don't know if journalist mode is actually a thing. I doubt it. But maybe. I don't know.
Because I know there's some complaining about, like, they're putting out reviews and all that, and I don't blame anyone for putting out, like, because this game specifically is an anomaly because you're not going to be able to finish this game in 5 days if you go about it like the normal way.
Yeah. And so how do the reviews happen? Like, what are those reviews based on whenever they do come out, like, day one? Like, who has time to, like, actually do that? And as a person who's going to look at those reviews, you should know that. You should know that going in, like, okay, this person had no way of actually judging a game like this size, accurately, because I can't judge it accurately, and it's been however long it's been.
That's why I felt like the 10 out of 10s were a little misplaced, where I'm like, I feel like I wouldn't give this game a 10 out of 10. Like, I don't see why it got so many 10 out of 10s, other than just they had that, first 10-hour experience, and I'm like, this game's fucking amazing, like 10 out of 10. It's
that's different for people though. Different people though, because for even me, like, I don't need to know everything that's about the game to know that it's a game that, and I'm talking specifically about Elden Ring here. Like, I know that it's a game that I really enjoy, and I will continue to really enjoy for a while. I don't know everything about the game, but that's part of the reason why I'm going to enjoy it for a while. It has whatever it is for me. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it's something that makes me want to go back to it and try different things and look at different things and see if there's anything actually more to it. And there's plenty of games that I don't feel there is any more to it.
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody, and that's not something that's going to be like if I'm going to review the game and I'm going to say it's really really good because of that. It's whatever I'm going to call it. It's 8 out of 10. It's 9 out of 10 because of that. That's not going to be someone else's 9 out of 10 by far.
Right.
So I don't know.
It's also hard to even. It's not hard. I don't want to critic. Like if Miyazaki was here and he said, "Do you have any problems with the game?" I would just say no. I wouldn't because I don't really want them to be influenced by anything. I like the '70s prog rock element of Souls games where they kind of do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and what you get is what you get. I like the chaotic, wild nature to the development process where if we keep complaining and it for some reason they listen to those complaints, you're gonna lose that kind of wild nature that makes this game special. So
You end up with something like MK11 where it's like it feels very much like they tried to listen to everyone and end up failing as a result. Like they didn't do more of their own thing. Like
It's a thing. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And you could argue that maybe the whole George R. R. Martin thing was part of that. They were trying to maybe homogenize the story a bit for. And I hate to say it, but it looks like it may have worked. I don't know. There's a lot that can be said on that topic, but I just I want the next game to be really cool and really different. My only request is I don't want it to be another open world, especially given the high point of this game for me is Stormvale. I mean, granted that that's as far as I've gotten, but still though, I love
Yeah.
Stormvale because I feel like I'm breaking into someone's house, and that's fun to me, right? Yeah, even though I don't love Murgo as a boss in Bloodborne, I think she was a little too easy. I love that destination. It felt so much. I feel like the art of the final dungeon has been lost, right? I really like Storm. I love big ass castles that I can break into. That's just tight. It feels like a location, and that's where the immersion starts.
yeah,
That's
I
really
can see that.
the flip side of that is the rest of the game doesn't. I feel like I'm in a meadow. That's. I feel like a lot of the open world does not have much identity. But then I like the progression though. I like discovering new shit. I like the idea that there might be something in those bushes. That's kind of cool. Or that the Sable Knight will fucking find me at any moment at nighttime. That you can't get that without an open world.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of additional things that you can get with an open world that I appreciate. But I also feel like just for me, I personally prefer the more tight knit, not so much linear, but just more condensed game where it's just I get overwhelmed. I literally get overwhelmed. I'm I don't know where to go, but I also don't want to miss out on certain things, so I'm just gonna explore. And then I end up not doing much fighting regular enemies because there's not much incentive to. You give me a horse, I'm gonna run past everything and just see, like you said, explore, see. My goal was just to see everything. It's like a fucking ride at Disney World. I want to see every location. I want to see what I have, and then I can play the game. But that took me 100 hours to do, just fucking doing that.
And you don't want to do a really hard dungeon and fight a really hard boss to get a battle axe you're never going to be strong enough to use.
Exactly, yeah.
And I've done that 10 times.
The weapon diversity is just, for me, I don't think this game has, even as many weapons as it has, I don't think it has that many interesting weapons. I still will say I've never used as fun or interesting weapon as a Bloodborne weapon.
No.
I have found every Dark Souls weapon to be less interesting. I can't find a weapon I love like I did in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I've always had that issue with Souls games. I still have that issue with Elden Ring. I don't have a main weapon.
Hot take, or maybe it's not a hot take. You guys tell me. This game has too many classes. This game should have had 4 classes. There's just too much shit.
Classes. I don't know. Maybe
How
I'm
many
not the right
classes are
person to
there?
ask that question.
1, 2, 3, 10. There's 10 classes.
There's 10.
There's just too much useless stuff. Well, go on, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I think condensing it a bit would be easier for new players, but I also don't feel like classes really matter that much in the long run. As much as I don't know. Like I said, I didn't feel like I picked a particularly difficult class or anything, but I also didn't feel like it was that big of a deal. I kind of just morphed into my own character after that.
It's
But,
hard, yeah.
For you, was it like confusing? Like, did it add like pressure to pick the right one? Like,
No, it was more of the. And here's the thing: like, I could just Google the solution, right? But I don't want to compromise the experience. I could go online and find out where the prayer books are. But when you explore for like 15 hours and you don't find a prayer book and you just don't get to use other spells, it's like, well, now I'm at a fork in the road. Do I go online and just find the location in the prayer books and completely throw away the open world experience? Or in a way, I've already kind of done that because I wasn't watching Eris play because I didn't want to be spoiled, but I was listening to Eris play, and he found the faith weapon. I'm like, okay, all right. I looked at where he was at on the map, and I went there and I got the weapon. So
yeah,
already indirectly, I was cheating, right? But I kind of treat it like, yeah.
No, I was just gonna mention that I did that a lot with this game. Like, Pot would tell me somewhere where this weapon was at. I'm like, oh, that sounds sick. I'll go pick that up.
Yeah.
Oh, sick armor set. Let me go grab that. There's not enough time in the world for you to fully explore every nook and cranny. And if there's like an armor set that I'd prefer to wear, I want that fucking armor set. I don't want to discover it on your own because it's like, dude, that will take fucking forever. I have no qualms with looking shit up in this game with how big it is. It's just
like
too big.
It's a fighting game. Like, if you're going to spend 10 hours in training mode, you want to like your character, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like, I don't want to run around in starting gear for 20 hours. Like, I want to find something I like and can actually start to enjoy. I feel like this game does a bad job at that with, like, weapon variety in the beginning. Because it's like, I found, like, a bunch of dex weapons at the beginning and very few strength weapons. So that literally led me to restarting and starting a new character and going dex-based. So I think that is a legitimate issue.
See,
Especially
I
with,
picked the
like,
samurai
training mode.
and I was sick, like right from the start.
Yeah, you're fucking lucky.
Fair. That's fair. I picked the prophet and I had a giant wooden plank around my head. So training mode of this game is the boss fights in a way, right? If you don't like your tool set and you don't really love the way your character looks, it's not as easy to spend like a million hours fighting not one but two versions of Aghanos from Killer Instinct, right?
Right.
So that's just a lot of time spent, especially if you're the wretch. Like, Eris had to look at this random naked person for over 9.5 hours.
Well,
Yeah,
he
his
didn't
character looked
have to.
shitty.
Like, he
Yeah,
fucking did that shit.
He deliberately made his character look bad. Like,
Well, I mean, he's the hero Gotham needs, right? Like,
Yeah.
Even if magic isn't bullshit or is bullshit, it doesn't matter. We need Eris to not use magic. That's the important
Yeah.
thing. I think someone has to suffer, and I'm glad it's Eris, right? So
yeah.
it's funny. Like, let the funny man suffer for 9.5 hours. Don't let the unfunny person suffer for 9.5. I don't want to watch someone who's not funny
No.
suffer for 9.5 hours. Right?
You're not
It's just
going to
miserable.
watch that. You're definitely not going to watch that.
No, I'm dude. Okay, so it's been so great. I've listened to two streamers, Sajam and Eris, and they have such wildly different perspectives on the game.
What does
and I
Sajam
love
say?
that contrast. What's up?
What does Sajam say?
He loves magic. He's a magic. He's fucking. He like fucking Eris is like, dude, I'm only gonna use this bat because it's the best bat in the game. I'm using the best underwear in the game. This is spec underwear. And Sajam's like shooting rainbows out of his wrist and shit. Like, it's completely different. Not actually. He's doing the sorcery thing, right? Or maybe it's astrology. But he's an astrologer class using sorcery. God, okay. So I know it's a hot take saying this game should have less classes. I don't ever want to tell Souls game, like, not me, but like real Souls game players, like you two. I don't want to say that you should have less options for my sake. I don't like saying that. But do you know how much sorcery shit I found in this game?
Probably
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. Probably about as many like fucking smithing stones as I found in my first playthrough, which was not that many. Like, it took a long time for me to find
I killed
shit.
a mushroom person and found a sorceress who was willing to teach me all the sorcery in the world. And I was like, no, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Faith class, YOLO.
You
And I had
found
to walk
Selin,
away.
huh?
It just sucks.
I remember
Maybe,
her.
yeah.
I remember her.
Yeah.
She was something. She had a decent head, and all the other people with the head, they didn't have good heads. I liked her head. You know what I'm talking
Head
about?
tier list.
They
Yeah,
all
the
had
mask,
weird those
head
weird
help.
fucking Burger King people.
Like a statue. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Burger King guy is a good like Elden Ring reference. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of those guys.
That's so perfect. Elden Ring aesthetically is basically the Burger King guy, the game. That
It
makes
is.
so much fucking. Miyazaki just wanted to make his own version of Sneak King. I think that's fucking amazing.
Dude, Sneak King, do you remember that shit? Man.
I do. I never played it, but I remember it.
What was that? That was
I played-
Xbox 360, right?
Yeah. I played the
Maybe.
racing one. I think I
Yeah,
never got
there-
Sneak King.
Because there was more than one, but Sneak King is the one that everybody remembers. Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 of them. Man,
Yeah.
those games
Basically Elden Ring.
it's basically Elden Ring. What else haven't we talked about?
Let me go through the list. We still got to rank these damn Souls games.
I mean, that's
But,
gonna be easy for me. No, I was gonna say that I do. I agree with you, but that's just me. I always like to condense things down and make things as efficient. I would like to say.
Yeah.
That's the word that I would use. So as far
it's
as classes
difficult to
goes,
spec in this game for me, at least. I still have put nothing into endurance. I don't know if that was the right decision or not.
It's hard to tell. I have the same issue. It feels like stats matter a lot and then don't really matter that much. It's very weird.
it is really
like,
weird in this.
After a
game.
certain point, stats don't matter at all. But like getting up to there, it feels like they matter a lot. It's
At some
It's odd.
point, I heard someone say that just find a weapon you want and then spec up to just your required amount for that thing, and then dump everything else into vigor and endurance.
Yeah, you need high vigor in this game. Some people that have been playing, their life parts are so small, and I don't know how the fuck they do it. Like, I put so much into vigor.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that because of the scaling, though, because my weapon scales with faith. So it's like, what do I do?
Scaling is not that buff in this game for me and my sword using. I don't know if that's how it works for sorcery because I haven't used it. But if I dump dex or if I crank dex and I have a weapon that scales with dex, I'm not seeing that huge of a difference. I'm seeing much more difference where that goes whenever I'm doing smithing stones and doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I still have the Fia debuff, and I just haven't gotten rid of it yet.
I mean,
It took me like 60 hours to do that.
I'm sure I could Google how to get rid of it, and I'm
just
just
use it.
I'm good.
just
You
use
just have
it.
to use the item in your
Just use the
inventory.
item.
Here, better question. If I have the item and I motorboat Fia again, is there any penalty for that?
No,
Okay, well, I can now it's a good item because I can just hug her anytime I want.
but you can hug her anytime you want, whether you use the
Bro,
item
I'm
or not.
maidenless.
Dude. What is she? I forgot what her lore is.
Do you find out? I wasn't even sure if you'd find out.
The deathbed companion. They talk about it a little bit, but no, I don't remember what it is. Even if I did actually learn it at some point. But she has a cool name. I like being the deathbed companion. That sounds tight.
I really like that Melina meme. Where it's like, hey, it's your girl Melina, and she gives you tips on how to play Elden Ring. That shit was good.
I don't know how much she's actually your girl.
Oh, is Melina not a girl? Oh, I didn't know that.
No, she is.
I mean,
Oh, she is a girl.
Yeah, she's a girl. I mean,
I was worried when I first met her that this is going to be a subversion, and she's actually going to be like a super bitch.
No, it
and she
wasn't.
doesn't actually.
What? Go ahead.
Well, no. I feel like Melina was going to have a twist associated with her.
Oh, I think that she does.
Hold on. It's Henzi Hufflepuff posted it. It was it just cracks me up, man. I probably should have done this before or after the recording, but fuck it.
Eh.
Here we go. I don't know, man. This shit just makes me laugh. The idea maybe more than anything, but yeah, so.
My game.
Maiden Melina.
It also bothers me her name is not pronounced Melina. I feel like there needs to be an extra N if you want it to be like a non-vowel sound for me.
There's another character named Melania or some shit,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I literally don't know the difference. I can
It's
never.
Godfrey Godric shit.
Yeah, there is so Randala, Rani, Rinna. I'm like, who the fuck are these people?
I think they did it as far
I'm
as
still
they're
laughing
supposed
about
to.
Lawrence from Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm sorry, Jingo. What's up?
No, that's fine. Lawrence is my middle name, so Lawrence always makes me laugh.
Oh, that's tight.
It's
I like the name Lawrence.
yeah, it's not bad.
Who was the guy
um,
from Office Space?
Wait a
I didn't
minute.
know that.
Oh, wait, which? Wait,
You know,
Yeah, which
Oh, hold on.
wait. Is he the one that
is
got
the dude with
hit?
the beard?
Yeah, that's Lawrence.
Oh, him. I was
Yeah,
thinking
that
of the guy
dude.
that got hit by the car for some reason.
No, that guy sucks. Oh, he's all right.
He's
He's not high on my Office Space tier list. Shut up, conclusions. Get the fuck out of here.
No, yeah. That's you had that gif ready, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you just type in Lawrence in under gifts on Discord. And it shows
Shit,
up.
no, man.
That's
No.
such a good ass movie. I fucking love that.
It is a
movie.
great movie, and that's a
This
much
would be-
better Lawrence. You're right.
It's basically Elden Ring, if I'm being honest. But
This would be this would be a great reaction for someone saying, "Is Elden Ring not a 10 out of 10 game?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also still laughing at the melanin meme. I
Yeah.
cannot
It's
look at it
good.
and not laugh my ass at that face. It is so like fucking like GTV, Spike TV fucking bullshit. I love it.
Melania.
I may have derailed the topic too much.
I
don't
don't
know how to
remember
go
the
back.
topic now.
I forgot what it was.
There is another. I think there's only like two things we haven't gone over yet, and the other one is: should people start with Elden Ring as their first Souls game?
Nope.
I don't think it would hurt.
I'm
Would
leaning
it
towards
hurt?
yes, because there's so much easy stuff to do if you want to do it.
Yeah.
Which is not
okay.
true of Dark
fine,
Souls?
Fine. I'll
Well, I'll tell you what,
reconsider.
Were you thinking Margit? Because Margit,
No,
if
I
that's
wasn't
the
thinking
barrier of
Margit.
entry, then I could see a case being made.
I was
with this
thinking
not
about
being your
difficulty.
first.
I was just thinking as far as difficulty goes, no, you should start with Dark Souls 3. And that's always been that's been my answer for a long time. What should be anyone's first Dark Souls game? And I would say Dark Souls 3.
Why not Dark Souls 1?
Because
I don't find Dark Souls 1 to be a good starting point. I struggled with Dark Souls 1. That was my first, and I got like first 2 hours or so, and I struggled. I didn't understand shit. My first like actual like starting to love it was Bloodborne. So I'll always say Bloodborne's the best starting point.
I was watching Jack from Red Letter Media and Escapist, and he was saying Bloodborne was his number one choice as a starting game. And
Yeah.
technically, that's where I started as well. So, and it worked out. But to be fair, though, it worked out because you told me what to do. You told me to run past the werewolves. I don't
Oh,
know.
did I?
Dude, I played that game for like 8 hours before I finally talked to the doll. And that
Damn.
was after at 6 hours in, I quit and put the game down for 4 months and said, no, I'm not going to let this stupid fucking game beat me. And then I picked it up again, played for like 4 more hours, not knowing what to do. And then you said, Tim, you can run past the werewolves. And I did that in like 30
Yeah.
minutes, and I hated myself. But it was a good game.
I feel like people like because I was the same way. Central Yarn took like 4 hours, but once you know you can run past shit, that changes everything. Like so many encounters that you get stuck on.
that is a thing.
But I would say this game, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Yeah.
I was just gonna say this game. I just think of the open world aspects, and I think for anyone who gets stuck on a boss, there's another path to go, and you can just like doing. Like I think that's also partly why I'm not super engaged with like the open world content. Is just like been there, done that with every other Souls game. Like I know what to expect out of the open world enemies, so I don't need to fight them. Whereas like newer players, like Pot was saying, like his boss has been playing, and he's like he ends up in some fucking weird ass area he hasn't even been to yet. So he has to like ask for help, and he's like, "How the fuck did you even get here?" And see, like you said, like it seems like everyone has had a different experience with this game. I think that's also something appealing with like newer players. Like they will experience the game completely differently than you will. Like especially if you've played a Souls game before. Like even Bloodborne, you haven't played Bloodborne. You have like you can run past shit and not have to just straight up fight it. So I don't know.
I feel like all roads lead to Rome and Bloodborne as well. Like you can pick a right or wrong weapon, but I feel like everything works. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true of this game.
Everything definitely doesn't work in this game. I would say like you gotta at least get a solid weapon. Like and once you get damage, like that was me. Like once I found the Uchi and I had damage, I'm like, I'm good. I don't really love this weapon, but I at least have damage. Like, that did change a lot.
Okay, so slightly off topic, dude. I think you said something on the Bloodborne April Fools that something you were shit talking the axe, basically, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the comments was just appalled that you would say bad things about the axe because they loved the axe, and that's the cool thing about Bloodborne, right? Like everything ultimately works if you put in the, I guess the elbow grease, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think this game does progression better because I feel like if I do a thing, I'll get stronger, and I felt stronger when I went back into battle. And Bloodborne, I never felt stronger from the upgrades, man. I think I used the same armor from like the first, like second level of the game. I just never changed armor ever again because it didn't matter.
Yeah,
that's definitely a thing.
There's really not a healthy sense of progression unless you're just gonna farm blood echoes, which I did. Again, I'm not good at these games. I had to do stupid shit to get through them. And I'm going to do stupid shit to get through this too, but yeah.
I guess that me and Paul were talking about this. I think that's something I actually like about Bloodborne is like you feel really buff at the start. At least for me, if you pick like after you play the game once and shit, you kind of know what you're doing. Like just being able to parry everything automatically makes you buff, and you don't really need those upgrades. Whereas in this game, if you just go in like not leveling, I feel like it's gonna be way fucking harder like to get through it. Well, I mean, you do have the horse, so you're kind of like. That is already like a buff, but it's also not for bosses, so I don't know, that's difficult. I get what you mean though, like upgrades do feel more substantial in this game, and there's like more player progression.
The horse is hilarious when it jumps, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, Snake Eyes was saying it's a goat. It's absolutely. Have you seen it jump? It's a fucking goat.
Yeah.
So, and I partially agree with that. But,
it does have horns.
It does.
The horse is a good segue because you can use the horse to make some bosses easier, which I never even considered until I was like maybe like 10 hours into the game.
Yeah.
The dragon was easier. The tree sentinel was easier. And like I said, I'm playing sort of like an old Sagat build right now with a faith thing. So I'm just kind of zoning everyone out.
That's sick.
But some things you can't zone out, like what are those stone keys called?
Stone sword keys? Or...
Yeah, sword key. Sword. I can't talk.
Yeah.
Stone, sword. Keys, not Storn. Yeah, so at the beginning of the game, I opened up and I briefly fought the ulcered tree thing. And you can't zone him. He doesn't give a fuck. You throw fire at him, he throws fire at you, and you die.
That was another boss I watched Eris fight for 5 hours.
The
what were
tree
you gonna say,
sentinel?
Django? Oh no, the
ulcerated tree creature thing.
Okay. I'm with you. Go ahead.
He kind of looks like
giant centipede thing.
Django, have you played Super Metroid?
Yes.
You have? I didn't know that.
Yes. I'm not gonna remember anything you're gonna post. I have played the game. What do you mean? Have
Well,
I played
I'll post
Super
a picture.
Metroid? How? What? When would I not have played Super Metroid?
I guess like my brain just like anything I try to picture that's not Symphony of the Night is just a blur when I associate myself with it.
If it's a 2D platformer, I've probably played it at some point.
But he looks like the guy from Super Metroid, but I can't remember his fucking name, dude. I think it might be Dragon, but this stupid website doesn't have fucking pictures.
Dude, I'm probably not gonna remember.
Yeah, I got him. Hold on. He reminds me of this asshole. This is one of the bosses in Super Metroid. But while we're talking about that, though, I would say I probably would recommend this game as someone's first Souls if they want to go that route. I don't know if it's ideal. I don't think it's the wrong choice, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad choice, but the game is just not very cohesive.
Yeah.
I think I would want something a little more like well-structured. I think Bloodborne is a good starting point. Although I don't think Dark Souls 1 is bad from what I played. I knocked out like a few bosses in that game, and I think I don't know, that's really tough. I've never played Dark Souls 3. So I can't answer for that. Like
Also, it's sort of like the Doom Eternal thing where it's like for Dark Souls 1, if people play the later game and they go back to that, they're gonna probably dislike it because of how slow it is. And that's something I dislike. Like I really like the speed of Dark Souls 1 and how slow it is and like methodical it is. and a lot of people struggle with that though, and they prefer the faster rolling like Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. But I feel like Bloodborne, yeah,
It's an interesting comparison because I feel like Doom 2016 is really fast if you use the right guns.
yeah.
Because like you're just run and gunning, right? You can't really run and gun in Doom Eternal because it's all arena battles.
Yeah, you're mostly just hooking and fucking like jumping and dashing. Like
It's
you
like
don't
a
really,
dance, really.
yeah, basically.
But if you like Doom Eternal, yeah, it's impossible. You're right. You cannot go back to Doom 2016
Yeah,
if Doom Eternal is your shit.
Doom Eternal absolutely has the better gameplay, I think, but Doom 2016 has a specific type of gameplay that is not Doom Eternal, where there's certain players that will prefer that for sure.
If you want like a dopamine fix, that's Doom 2016.
Yeah.
If you just want to feel like a badass as you just destroy everything, yeah, it's But if you want like a challenge, if you want like a sophisticated experience, yeah, Doom Eternal's the
Sophisticated.
Hey man, I mean, it's
No, listen,
I put a lot of work.
It's just listen. It's a good word.
I feel like I'm under attack right now.
What was No, I forgot what I said like a billion years ago. Though, what was the about a Souls game to start with? I was reconsidering my answers. I always say Dark Souls 3 because I think it's the easiest. I think Dark Souls 3 is pretty easy. I think Dark Souls 3 is really easy.
I was watching Donkey's video on that, and every boss looks like the icon of sin. But I don't know if that's true throughout the entire game. No?
I don't.
I remember a really big fucking knight. I remember a tree with a ball sack.
There is a tree with the ball.
Oh yeah, there is. Oh, I forgot about him.
I never forget about that guy. That boss sucks. There's
That
a lot of
boss does suck.
shitty bosses in that game.
Because
a lot
it's
of good
hard or
boss.
because it's lame? Yep.
Which one?
Dark Souls 3 is weird. There's a lot of good bosses in that game, but a lot of trash too. But I actually like a lot of Dark Souls 3 bosses.
Thinking about it in context, Elden Ring is fun. But one thing that I do really fucking like about Elden Ring, though, over all the other shit, is that in Elden Ring, you can just, like, walk up at any point and, like, change the shit on your fucking weapon, and it becomes a skill weapon or a strength weapon. Or you can put I love how you can change your combat art or whatever, your Ashes of War, whatever. And so, like, all of a sudden, you can have this fucking, like, lightning-ass weapon if you want, or you have this, like, big blood attack if you want. Like, you don't have to go find the fucking ore of blood and then take it to your smith, and then you can, like, have to go find fucking blood rocks to put into the ore of blood to smith out a fucking blood weapon. Like, you don't have to do that shit in Elden Ring, and it's so much better.
I did hate the upgrade stones in Bloodborne. I hated them a lot. Although I don't love the fucking what are those crafting stones called?
Smithing stones.
Yeah, because it's like smithing stone. I have smithing stone 2, but I don't have smithing stone 4. Like, fuck that. That's
Yeah,
horrible.
that's my problem. That's why I prefer Bloodborne's.
Which is different from a somber stone, which I need to upgrade faith weapons. Fuck this system.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go on.
Because it goes up to 24 plus 24,
What the fuck?
And it does.
It goes in 3 increments of 3, so there's like up to 10. I think it's 10 smithing stones, and I think that system is fucked. Why not just do it like the first 6, 12, 18? Why do you have to have like 10 different? Just make it fucking more streamlined.
That feels like a troll. That is just
and also
bad design.
Not only that, but you have the same thing for upgrading ashes, which go to plus 10, and upgrading the somber weapon, like the special weapons that require somber stones. So that's a whole nother 24. So
well, no, those don't go up to 24 though.
But there's still like the stones, like the stones go up to like smithing stone, however much, like the maximum one.
Well, yeah, the smithing do, but the somber, I think those
they only go up to 10.
Yeah, they only go up to 10.
It's still just confusing.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
Even in the shop, there's so many fucking stones. I don't know what's what, so I end up buying shit I didn't even need because I can't remember what number I needed.
I agree. That's a fucking. Maybe it makes more sense in Japanese. That's the only thing that I can kind of think. Maybe.
I was just gonna say, like, that feels like, for me, the majority of the game is just frustration with like little things like the bonfires. There's so many fucking bonfires, and for me, I cannot visually differentiate on a map where something is,
Yeah.
where a place that I've been to is. That's really difficult for me. I'm bad at reading maps, and there's no picture indicator indicating where that bonfire is. So there have been so many times where I spent literally a half hour looking for the right bonfire that I need for a quest or something, and I just can't find it because there's so many. And you have to,
yeah.
There's there's so fucking many. Go on.
Well, there's a bonfire before you fight Marduk, and there's a bonfire where you kill Marduk, and there's a bonfire right after you kill Marduk. I'm like, what? There's so many fucking. It feels so unnecessary and also hilarious, but
Yeah, that's literally a giant complaint for me, and I don't know why. That's just a giant oversight to me because, like, I literally waste so much time, even though there's a giant fast travel system. Like, it makes it harder for me to differentiate which areas are which. And I really don't know why they didn't put in at least an alternative selection menu because I can't stand that. Very frustrating. And also, just another thing. In item menus, I have no fucking clue. Like, when I pick up an item, I have no idea where that shit went because there's like 10 to 15 different item menus full of fucking shit already, and I have no idea where the hell that went. There's no indicator where that went. And my inventory is just...
There is a way to sort it by, like, the recent you picked it up, how, like, when you picked it up. I forgot how to do it. I forgot how to do the sorting menu because it doesn't say, like, oh, push this button to sort different ways.
Right.
But, like, apparently there is one, and that shit is pretty... It's pretty nice for a Souls game to have. I just need to remember how to do it.
Yeah. They're, like, people that say, like, oh, Souls games don't need tutorials. Like, they don't tell you what you need to do. Like, it's so smart. I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Tell me what the fuck to do and how the fuck to do it. Like, literally 50 hours in, I did not know that you could, like, put items on the quick bar by holding triangle. I did not know you could do that. So the entire time I was swapping between Torrent and the Estus flask, and that got me killed so many times.
Yeah, Will.
Because I just found out right now. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that was literally, I'm like, dude, I'm dying so much because I'm trying to use my Estus, and I'm on Torrent. So I end up fucking summoning him in the fight when I don't mean to, and I don't get to heal. Like, that was driving me insane until I looked it up. I had to look up so much fucking shit for this game. Like, they need to explain some things more. Like,
I feel so bad for the person who drops this game for a few months because they got busy and tries to go back to it. That's going to be a fucking nightmare.
There needs... Exactly. That's, like... I've had that problem with so many games where I drop it and I come back to it, and I just don't know how the fuck anything works. There needs to be some type of, like, quick tutorial that you can just access at any time that just goes through, like, the menu mechanics. There's literally menu mechanics in this fucking game that you need to learn. You gotta learn the tech.
I agree.
Yeah, if you have to go on Reddit to play a video game that's single player, that I guess I take the good with the bad, but it feels... I don't feel like that adds anything to the game. I don't feel like the game is better because I forgot how to use one-handed over two-handed.
Right. And, like, that's another thing. Like, how do you guys feel about, like, the opening area? How the tutorial is literally off to the side and not straightforward, where, like, you literally have to, like, deviate from the straight path that your eyes wander and, like, fucking tell you to go to. I did not find that area until New Game Plus, which is, like, just yesterday I found it.
Yeah, I can't tell you what I think of it because I didn't see it.
There you go.
I found it. It wasn't in the... I know that it was in the beta, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But in the main game, they added, like, that person who's on the chair, like, pointing down to it, like the ghost person.
Yeah.
Because apparently a lot of people didn't see it. And apparently a lot of people still don't see it. So...
I definitely didn't.
I think that's really interesting.
That feels like it was done on purpose. That honestly feels like it was done on purpose.
That's such a strange decision to me.
I don't think it's strange. I think it's wrong, but I don't think it's strange because I think Miyazaki was pissed that everyone wanted tutorials. He's like, "Oh, you want a tutorial? I'll give you a tutorial."
It's down this hole.
He literally in the game.
Jump down this hole that you should never do otherwise. Don't jump down a hole. But you do. He does want you to jump down holes sometimes.
I also turned the offline off immediately in this game. I have no messages in my game.
That was a smart idea.
Yeah, I did that too.
Well, I feel like so I'm not really big on spoilers when it comes to Dark Souls games, but, like, if I was, I imagine messages would be, like, the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I didn't. I
There-
definitely didn't want that shit. Especially that shit being like, "Hey, jump here, don't jump here, maybe jump here, butthole."
Well, a lot of them are trolly though. Yeah, like, dude, there was so many. Like, there. This game has the worst messages. They're either like Metal Gear Solid references, Fortnite, or fucking buttholes. Like, that's literally all it is. That's 90% of the fucking messages.
Why were there Metal Gear references? What the fuck? I do
There's that.
think like Metal Gear Solid 5, but go on.
Yeah, they're full of them. And it's fucking annoying. It just takes me out of it. I'm like, dude, fuck. The only reason I was online is either like to play with Pot or fucking like Django or whatever for trading. Yeah, it was annoying.
I also don't like all the silhouettes running around me.
Yeah,
It's my sort of like in game of attack the thing that's moving or not moving.
yeah, it can be very distracting.
Well, even offline, like there are like invasions. Right?
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a person or not. I don't love that.
That's been since Dark Souls 1. There's NPC invaders. Yeah. They're usually buff too in this game. Like, there's some buff NPC invaders.
Fuck you, Anastasia.
I hate the
Yeah.
one at the round table, the one that freezes your ass.
Oh yeah, they're fucking broke.
It's so
Yeah.
bad it didn't heal. Like that's the real problem.
Yeah. They can only heal once though, which is good.
Yeah,
Really?
that's a thing in this game at least. Like, every pretty much every invader type has like one heal.
Yeah, they'll try it again and then they like run out. It like shows the animation.
Man, well, I should have kept going then because when I saw the first time they healed, I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, they only
Yeah.
got one, and they'll keep trying it to
Yeah.
to heal, and they'll fuck them up.
Yeah, there's a good amount of NPC invasions in this game, especially with like a side quest you can do later where you literally like invade their world
Yeah,
and fuck them up. There's some
That's
cool stuff in this.
That's cool.
Yeah. This game's fucking huge. I like Pa was telling me how the beta was like 1/10 or 1/15 the actual map size. I'm like, that's bullshit. It won't be that big. And then the game comes out and it's fucking even bigger than that.
it is.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, I wasn't ready for this. I knew it'd be big, but never like the scope of this game is like unparalleled. It's fucking. I read like a Twitter comment recently where it's like, if this game came out in the 90s, it would be one of those games that would be explored for fucking years. And they're totally right. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
if you look at it at that perspective, this game is amazing. Like, how much shit is in the game and how much like shit is hidden away, and like, if we didn't have data mining and all that, like the perspective would definitely be different. And that kind of made me think about it more. And like,
That's
scope-
two more
yeah.
reasons. Well, yeah, go on.
no, go ahead.
Well, that's two more reasons why I don't want to talk shit really ever about Elden Ring. Because one, I don't want to complain about more content. I don't want to be like, how dare you give us all this content? I don't think that's a good starting point for any argument. But also,
Yeah.
like, when this game was being developed, Miyazaki probably was not thinking about the shit we were complaining about. He was probably
Right.
worried about, is this boss going to clip through the fucking ground if they play it for more than 10 minutes? That's the shit he was worried
Yeah.
about. Is this tree going to work? Is it going to function properly, right? You know,
Yeah.
Did we add the ice clone? I don't know. Like that's he was probably thinking about. He wasn't thinking about any of the shit we were talking about. He had a world to build, right? So
Yeah. That's why, at first I was really like upset about like the reused animations and shit, but like seeing how big the game is, like it's no surprise they used reused animations, like because there is a lot of new animations in there anyway. Like there's a ton, so yeah, I can't believe like considering like the time frame from Dark Souls 3, which was 2016, and this game 2022 with Sekiro in between. I'm not surprised it took them this long. Like, it's fucking massive.
This game got pushed a couple times. Like it's
It
released.
did.
Yeah, which is understandable now in hindsight. This game is it's fat as fuck, and
We're
there's all
also
that
talking about
underground shit. There's all that underground shit
true.
it goes on. It goes.
it's weird how few
on.
bugs there are for this. How big this game is. It's weird.
That's
there's
what I
not
was thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
Also,
Like,
I want some credit. What's up?
No, I was just gonna say I encountered very few actual bugs in my first playthrough. Just a few things here and there, and it surprised me like how few there are.
There
What were
were
you gonna say?
well, Well, I was just gonna say there were a couple like quest bugs for me on my very first playthrough.
Mhm.
That was the shredder, and he was a sick shredder too. But yeah, that one I had a bug with Rennie's shit, and a few of the dragons just fucking fucked off and would never come back ever. Uh, that I eventually restarted that playthrough, but I did it the exact same way the second time. I did samurai and kept going that way.
Yeah.
Just because at that point, like there had been a patch, and there that stuff had been allegedly fixed, and I wanted to like do it the same way, but keep going.
Mhm.
But that stuff's not surprising because of how big the fucking game is, and all of these things are like, oh, those like a couple quest bugs. Well, that's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about this game in the context of its like near vanilla state
Yeah,
compared to like Bloodborne, which had all of its DLC, Dark Souls 3, all of its DLC. It's like once this game is complete and it has its DLC and everything, I wonder how we'll rank it compared to like its first version. I can't imagine how big the DLC will be.
yeah.
I don't know what's fun now is going to be fun later, which is, going back
Right.
to Symphony of the Night. It's amazing how Symphony of the Night is still fun, no matter how many times I play it.
Yeah.
I want to give him credit on the easy bosses too. When I beat like a boss that's like completely free, and like I go through a dungeon that's like or a cave that's like not even that big of a deal, I don't walk away thinking, man, that was kind of too easy. That's a little disappointing. No, I'm like fucking popping off because I stole all of their lucky money in like 10 seconds. Like that's how I feel. Like after like the real shitty bosses, like the random like generic like Shadow the Hedgehog fucking bosses you got to fight. Like I always feel good walking away from that because I feel like a fucking boss, right? And I think in a shittier game, you would be like, I did all of that for nothing, and that's I don't know. It's hard to explain why that works as well as it does.
Mhm.
No, don't get me wrong. The bosses still look generic and bad, but it's not a criticism though. It's not a good thing, but I don't know what else they could have done. I don't
Yeah.
know what they could have done differently given the scope of the game.
What can you feel like with that many bosses and make them all unique? It's difficult.
That's gonna be my
So-
homework. I'm gonna be thinking about what they could have done to really make the mini bosses and the cave bosses.
Mhm.
Like it's like, have you fought this dog yet? And then you go kill a dog, and that's a boss. That's like I don't know what they could have done instead. Maybe like I think one way you could do it is hide lore in those locations in a more obvious way. But I
Mhm.
don't know how you would do that either, honestly.
Yeah, that is difficult. I wish there was something like that. I just wish there was something more than like a random item. Like hiding something that gave you lore or something would be nice. Like something that just added more to the experience rather than just like some armor I'm never gonna wear, fucking some weapon I'm never gonna use.
That's why I never defeated the trolls who were dragging the cart on the road. I
Yeah.
never fought them because that's where I stole that joke from. Where like I'm going to do all this work for a fucking great axe I'll never be able to use. That's where the
Yeah.
joke comes from. Sajam did that and got a great axe that he'll never fucking use. That's how I knew not to fight those assholes.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because that would have been really cool if there was something good there. It's like okay, I fucking highwayman these 2 ass trolls, and they just that I don't know.
Yeah. I was gonna mention too. I do like some like the tree sentinels come back later as regular enemies, like in some areas, but they're still buff as fuck. Like you fight 2 of them at once. I like shit like that where it's like, I love the tree sentinel design, so I'm glad they reused it more. And like they even did the draconic tree sentinel, which is like super buff.
Yeah,
But they
it's
also do that
buff.
with several enemies where it's like the dragons are fucking.
The ulcerated tree also gets
Yeah,
up in that Stormvale.
yeah, they do several of those bosses where it's like even with Margit, even though he's a good fight, they still do him 3 times.
Really,
And-
that's interesting.
Yeah, you fight a more buffed version later, and Django did tell me about a super sick encounter that I didn't have with like a second version of him
Yeah.
where what was it? If you don't fight him at Stormvale, you encounter him at the Atlas place.
Yeah, Altus Plateau. It still happens if you fight him at Stormville. I found out it happens.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's still optional. But it happens whether you fight him or not. Because I mean, that's the main reason why it happens at the other place. Because you beat him the first time, and he's like, "Hey, I see you, you fucking little tarnished. You're not gonna fucking get to where you're gonna go." And he like fucking pops
Yeah.
up and tries to fight your ass again. Which is tight. That stuff is fun. that he has that like ongoing, like you build a relationship sort of with this boss. Even though he's a bitch who wants a run back, and you give it to him, and you kick his ass.
Is it really a run back? I kind of thought he was dead.
No, he's not dead.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
That's when I heard that. I was like, "That's sick." I love that type of shit.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps talking after you kill him, which I guess is supposed to clue you in.
Yeah, he does the FGC handshake after you beat him.
Yeah, it's the thing.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be dead. Why the fuck are you going on a 200 word essay? Like...
Yeah, he is. It's a thing. But yeah, he comes back.
That's tight. That's cool. I'm down with that. Because Goddard was salty as fuck when you beat him.
He was.
Yeah.
He was talking shit that whole match.
Yeah. What does he say when you win?
Bitch.
He says something. He mentions Godfrey whenever you win. Godfrey, did thou witness or whatever? Because
But even like halfway through the match, he's like, "Oh, my buttons were wrong," and then he gets the dragon.
that bitch. Yeah, pretty much. That guy was a bitch. It's funny though because like later in the game, not even that much later in the game, everybody says, "Yeah, Godric was a bitch. He was the bitch of the litter. He was the little shit."
Yeah. He's obviously like he doesn't come back. Like
No,
he's
yeah, he doesn't
the
come
trash. Like
Yeah, dude, I have a lot of respect for Margaret after fighting, Godric, because like you beat Godric, he immediately goes on Twitter and starts complaining about the dude.
Fucking
It's
Godric.
not respectable. It's not dignified.
yeah,
Well, and that fucking one dude is like doing a jig on his head after you fight him.
yeah.
That's right. The fucking Alex Valle.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so tier list. Where does Elden Ring fall, guys?
You go for a D4.
For me, my list definitely depends on two because like I replayed Dark Souls 1 earlier last month. I think it was last or the month before that, but that gave me a perspective of the late game Dark Souls 1 is shit, and I fucking hate it, and I only love the first half of that game. And the DLC. The DLC is really good too, but like that last half is shit.
Eris says the same thing, by the way. He feels the exact same way, I think.
And it's weird because this game has such a similar fucking thing that happens. I really hate the late game, but I really enjoyed the like halfway mid like game. I really enjoyed like the lead up to that. So I need to play it again, but right now I would put this right below Dark Souls 1. Like and Bloodborne being my first. So I would do Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 2. And I'm not putting Sekiro in them because it's too different for me to include.
If I can probe you on that, is it just the bosses for Dark Souls 3 that holds it back, or is there another reason why that game doesn't rank higher?
Boss-wise, I would put Dark Souls 3 as number 2. I actually like a few of Dark Souls 3's bosses a lot, but I would also say I just think the world is really bland, and it rides on Dark Souls 1's coattails too much, and it's not enough of its own. It's not that interesting.
God, that's such a good point, which is another reason why I don't like complaining, because you don't want to lose that prog rock element, and that's when you get a game like Dark Souls 3, which is just trying to do Dark Souls 1 again, which I don't ever want to see that.
It's like, dude, you picked up Solaire's set. Oh my god, you remember him? You picked up Onion Bros set. You picked up fucking Artorias' set. It's like, dude, this feels just fan servicey as fuck. Like, I don't need all of their weapons in this game. Like, it's cool. Like, it's the same world, I know, but just throw in one or two. You're good.
It's the whole I clapped when I saw it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Dark Souls 3 is just, I don't know, not a huge fan of that game.
Good choices, though. I mean, I haven't. If we ever do this again, which I think is likely, it's really, I think, comes down to Miyazaki more than anything. But I will have beaten these games, and I will have a more concrete opinion. But
you will?
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, because I
should stream them. I would love to watch that.
Oh god, dude! Like, if I streamed Elden Ring and y'all saw me play Margaret for 10 hours, man,
you would be like everyone else,
books, dude.
Dude, I mean, it's the same as everyone.
Well, no, I'm not even like everyone else in the context of this call. Y'all beat him in like 10 minutes.
Not 10 minutes. It wasn't.
It took me like a
minutes.
half hour.
And
okay,
I did bolster a little bit. I fucking I got a little bit of health. I leveled up my weapon maybe once. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't go in there just like straight out of the gate. I did some shit beforehand.
I don't know, man. Like, imagine fighting Margaret, but like now you have to worry about Twitch chat and you have to answer Sevatar's questions while he's asking you why you're gay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. I actually am gonna do it. I'm gonna do another playthrough. I want to do another playthrough as a Belmont with a whip, and I'm gonna go through that shit.
I mean, that could be cool. Just
Yeah.
I don't think you guys struggled like I did though, and I can't imagine. Like, oh my god, dude. Like,
I think you're shortchanging yourself.
okay, so quick rant. I recorded my match with Margit, and when I finally beat him, I was so excited to post it. And then when I heard the video, I'd immediately unlist it because the PS5 controller spies on you and records you while you're playing. I didn't
What?
know that.
What does that
So
mean?
like, all like my fucking heavy breathing and my grunt, all fucking over the mat, and like all the I was like whispering shit, like, oh, I can't believe that. So I was doing like fucking horny ASMR the whole time I was fighting Margit, and I didn't realize it, and I just scrubbed the sound from the video because of that. So now, if I do a stream, not only do I have to worry about fucking Margit, I have to worry about me and like what I'm saying, what I'm doing. I had to answer, my 2 subs in the chat. I had to answer their questions. I had to ban bots. Like, oh god.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna have to do. It's what I fucking, whatever. How many fucking Bloodborne playthroughs have I done where that shit's happened?
Yeah. Also, you've already gotten past Margit, so really, like, you got at least him out. And I can't think of like after Godric, it's kind of smooth sailing for a while. Like,
okay.
I think it'd be more interesting to see yours too, because like lots of shit you haven't seen yet. And I mean, I was just mentioning like I would like to see your Dark Souls 3 playthrough and shit too, and watch that and see what you think.
I'd really do that with Cuphead, because Cuphead DLC is coming out soon, but I would love to try something like that with Dark Souls 3. Yeah.
It's just really fun for me to see boss reactions, like, especially just because one thing you mentioned earlier with the horse was like, I found it really funny, like watching, because I went into the Radon fight, and like how you're saying, like you forget about the horse, like it's this giant battlefield, so I just ran up, and I was like, I forgot about the horse, so I was like, oh fuck, I have a horse, I can just run past that shit. He knocks you off immediately with a fucking arrow, and I got one shot. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I have to run. I saw L.I. Joe do the exact same fucking thing, and I was like, yes, like I'm not the only one that was like, oh yeah, I have a horse, but then you get shot off immediately, and you cannot use that shit to run up.
God, that was on purpose too. Miyazaki wanted you to think you found a solution that wasn't actually real, right?
Yeah, because it's like, it seems so like, I'm like, I have to dodge this every time, like this arrow. But yeah, you do. That's
what's crazy about Dark Souls and fighting games is that like bosses will do knowledge checks on you, and that's so crazy.
Yeah.
God, it's slightly off topic, but one of the darkest moments I ever had as a streamer was when I was getting a lot of bots, right? And apparently there's this application that works with your Twitch that'll look for streams that don't have a lot of viewers, and it'll send you to that stream to help support that stream.
Huh.
Well, someone did that, and there was a message saying where they came from, and I just assumed they were a bot. So the guy was like, please don't ban me. I promise you I'm not a bot. And I was like, die, fucking bot.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And then I researched what he was trying to tell me and found out he was right, and I unbanned him, and I apologized.
Oh god.
So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, Dark Souls 3. I think I can make a project out of that.
I'd like to see you play Bloodborne again too. That would be fun. I feel like Bloodborne especially does not get good until the second playthrough, and I don't feel like you completed Bloodborne until you do the DLC. The DLC, in my opinion, is essential to that.
I think you're right. The problem is I can't get Bloodborne on PC, so I'd have to get like
that's true,
a streaming card for that, and it's also 30 frames per second.
That's fucking sucks. They need to re-release that shit already.
Yeah, I mean, there's money there. I mean, they have like 11 million new fans, so
yeah,
fucking re-release Bloodborne. Tell them it's exactly like Elden Ring in Office Space, and they'll buy it.
Yeah, do you think this game will like impact the future of what they do and like what direction they go in, or do you think they're gonna still do the prog rock thing and do their own thing?
I hope not. I want every game to be its own creature now. I don't really want to see repeats at this point.
Yeah.
That goes for Bloodborne even. I don't really want... Okay, so a Bloodborne 2 would be sick. I wouldn't say no to that. But I wouldn't want the main Souls installment to be a rehash. I don't think you can rehash Bloodborne. That's the thing. I
Right.
don't know if you can do Bloodborne twice.
I feel like you can set it in the same universe very easily, but you can do something completely different with it. It doesn't have to be Yarnum. It doesn't even have to be the same decade or the same like time. Like you can do it anytime, anywhere.
Don't do
And have
medieval though.
Right. Don't fucking do Dark Souls shit.
That's the
please.
thing. Yeah, like
Do like 1950s or some shit even. Like just do like fucking. That would be tight. Going around like I don't know.
That's almost Fallout though at that point.
Yeah. Fallout does always in a way that's like post-apocalyptic, where it's like, but I mean, see how the rest of the world is interacting with Bloodborne's universe, and there's something there. Like,
yeah, everybody. Like,
Bloodborne could easily be an open world game.
Well, the final boss could be you, your character from the first.
Yeah, that's true.
Final boss.
Just do fucking Bloodborne, but do it in America, like the Cowboys, because that's what I mean. That's what's going on, sort of at the same time. It's fucking
like
Cowboy
a Red Dead
West
Souls game.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick.
Like a giant horse.
Yeah, do that shit.
Okay, I'll sit on that. Like, fucking, like, did you play the Cactus Boss DLC? Like, I'll think about what I could fucking do with that. I don't even know. That would be, dude, Praetor would love that. Praetor would fucking love this shit out. He's a big Western guy. He loves Red Dead and shit like that, so I'm curious what he would think of that.
I mean, it's already, like, you fucking look at, you put a lot of Bloodborne, like, during the day, and it becomes, like, Western shit. It's already kind of like the same shit.
Just, you could literally do that and just put, because you already use guns and shit, like, just put in revolvers and fucking repeaters and all that.
The problem is the image I have in my head is just completely different from the image you guys like fucking like super buff, like the final form of like the bartender. Like I'm not picturing what you guys are picturing.
I was actually thinking of a bartender boss, like a saloon fucking like mob.
You can break into a brothel, but the brothel has like 9 stories for some reason and ghosts. I don't. I can't. Like I'm clearly not picturing what you guys are picturing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, it's the same shit, just not with, like, fucking...
keep saying that.
But not with the accent! Like, get out of town! Like, it's all your fault! Like, get these people, the same people. The sheriff that rolls out with the fucking gun like Gascoigne does.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking hilarious too. You could have someone, like, selling the blood, like, yo, guys, like, new fucking shit just hit.
Yeah,
and it's like
fucking...
they get all infected and shit, and... fucks up the whole town. That's how blood gets.
The snake oil salesman type dude. Like, dude, I got this new blood. It'll fucking cure the old blood. I mean, that's fucking what happens in the game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Bloodborne, presumably, there's an other side of the continent that you could go to where there's probably a completely different story going on, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have the dude in the DLC from Japan, and he's the only guy from Japan in that game, and he went over there to like see what the fuck was up, and he ended up getting fucked and going insane. So clearly there's other parts of the world that are still active and shit. So they could, and like Eileen has an accent, she's not from Yarnum, so there's other shit going on elsewhere. It's just,
I mean,
yeah,
the player character is also from somewhere else.
Yeah.
How far away from Bloodborne do you guys want to get though? Like how close? Like if it's like, let's say it's in like Bloodborne Australia, and there's just there's not even wolves anymore. You have to fight like fucking like dingoes and shit. Like how far away from Bloodborne do you want Bloodborne 2 to be?
Well,
see,
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say I still love the Bloodborne characters, and I would be completely fine with like a prequel game even, like, because there's so much there in Bloodborne that like you just kind of have to imagine it and you don't really see it. But I would love like a backstory like Gurman and Ludwig and actually see how everything went down, even though that's very unlikely. And I don't know how much different you can make that from Bloodborne, but I think that could be a section in a Bloodborne sequel that you could put in, sort of like how like Dark Souls 3 has those has that period where you go back and fight Gundyr in his prime or whatever. Like you could do some shit like that for Bloodborne, but at a bigger scale. But I wouldn't mind them deviating and just doing something completely different with like loose references here and there, but like having the core Bloodborne like concept, like the blood and gods and everything at a different location.
Yeah, because you can take that blood anywhere. You can take the old blood to any part of the world in any way you want. So
well, we don't know where it came from either.
Yeah.
Who's to say it came from Yarnum?
Yeah,
I mean, I think
true.
they.
Did it?
I can't remember.
Did I forget the lore?
No, I was just thinking if they got that from like the Chalice dungeons or if that was like different. I can't remember where they found the blood. I thought it had something to do with the tombs.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
you're right.
wondering if I feel like logically it's only a matter of time before we get a sci-fi Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's next on the docket.
A lot of people have
Mm,
asked for that for a while, like kind of like a futuristic sci-fi
Yeah.
Souls, which
Space
I'd be okay
Souls?
with. Yeah.
I'd be okay if it's weird. I would not want something like Cyberpunk. I would
Yeah.
want it to be weird, like something I have
yeah.
not seen before. I don't just want like a fucking like half bald dude to like walk around like Blade Runner. I don't want that. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in that. Again, bring back the giant cactus horse you have to fight in the Western Dark Souls. That's the
Yeah.
kind of shit I'd rather see. Give me something weird.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just keep I keep imagining like shit like that, like a futuristic Souls. I just don't think that would be my vibe. Like I feel like other companies do that to a way more like heavy extent, where like they're able to do like fantasy and shit like Elden Ring and still make it unique, but still like I just keep imagining like a boss with crazy neon fucking rave lights, and I'm just like I don't know, like
Maybe like Robot Souls is the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
Where it's not really the future, it's just everything is pissed off robots. I could see that. Like you just need to get away from like
There
the
are
human
robots
side of it.
in Elden Ring.
Oh, nice.
It's
don't they make? Sorry.
No. Well, I mean, I call them robots. No, they're robots. They're fucking sick tanks too. There's some shit. There's some cool shit in Elden Ring. I forgot about
There
that shit.
is. I was
Anyway.
gonna say, don't they make the series Armored Core or whatever?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know much about that, but isn't that like robots and shit and
Something
or-
like that. Maybe.
mechas or
I
something?
know it exists, and I know that like yeah, it's robot shit. But
People want a sequel for some reason. I never played them,
I don't know.
so they do have a
Okay.
history with robots. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, Django, what's your list? What's your ranking?
Of like all the Souls games?
Pretty much. I mean, Sekira's number one, clearly. But...
No, it's not. Bloodborne's number one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That surprised me too.
Yeah, Bloodborne's easy number one. I love Sekiro. Sekiro's great, but
Did you already give your list? I just forgot because I'll feel really bad if that's the case.
no, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't
gotcha.
know. But no, Bloodborne. Yeah, Bloodborne's at the top. After that is Sekiro, and then I can't. How am I supposed to put Elden Ring on the list? I don't even. I'm still getting to know Elden
Well, you're
Ring.
not
That's the
committed.
thing.
It's more of like an approximation, or like it's a guess, really. But I think the guess is important though, because you want to be able to compare it later. Because
Yeah.
this is like a frozen moment in
Okay.
time where you can be like, man, I can't believe I thought Elden Ring was the second, third, fourth, eighth best Dark Souls at that time.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, I know it's the best. Clearly, I know it's the
Clearly.
worst now.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's why we do a podcast, so we can look stupid in 2 years. That's why.
Yeah, it's fun. No, Bloodborne. Yeah, Bloodborne's number one. Then Sekiro, and then things get weird. Dark Souls 1 is... I never finished Dark Souls 1. I played some of Dark Souls 1. I never finished Dark Souls 2 either. I never want to. I never want to play that game ever again. So Dark Souls 2 is at the bottom of my list. I played Dark Souls 3 a lot. No, I have played Dark Souls 3 a lot. I don't think it's amazing. At all. But it's just like right there. It's so weird. It's on the same fucking console I'm playing Elden Ring on.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's really weird. And they're all lined up too on my fucking like PS5, PS4 homepage, whatever the fuck this is. This
Yeah.
is a PS4. This is a goddamn PS4. And there's Bloodborne and Sekiro and Elden Ring and all these games like right across the fucking homepage. Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1 probably right above Dark Souls 3. But I've played Dark Souls 3 way more than Dark Souls 1.
So we have Bloodborne, Sekiro, then we have Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3. Did I hear that right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
and then I would
gotcha.
probably...
Interesting.
But then where am I going to put Elden Ring in there?
I'm surprised Elden Ring isn't above Dark Souls 1.
Well, I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. I haven't put it anywhere
Just for
yet.
you, because I know you haven't played Dark Souls 1 a ton.
Yeah.
And you guys haven't played Demon Souls, right?
Oh,
Never.
I forgot about Demon Souls.
I own Demon Souls, but I didn't really have a lot of time to put into it, so...
If I had a PS5, I would have already just... I would have fucked
It's
Demon
so
Souls
fucked
so
that we're
much.
still talking about that in like 2022. I'm so pissed.
I was
It's a thing.
just thinking how he just said like all of them are on PS4, and literally the only one that's not is Demon Souls.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they're doing like fuck Sony. God, I hate Sony.
Yeah, I wish they put that on. I mean, they're losing money. They're losing so much money, but they just need to put it on PC.
Yeah.
That too.
It's also a shame because I like the PS5 interface so much better than the PS4 interface. I
Well,
think it's a lot better.
PS4 interface
Especially
sucks.
recently they updated it, yeah.
No, I
Nice.
agree with you.
I really
Also,
want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I want a PS5. It's just gonna be a while.
I think it looks good too. I think it looks
Yeah.
good in my in my setup. Like I think it looks like I bought modern art. I kind of dig it. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
If I could have bought one a year ago, I would have, but they're not available.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's a shame, man.
Especially if they ever do remaster Bloodborne and I'm not able to play that, I'll be ultra sad. And that,
Man, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit, that could be real. Yeah.
Mhm.
that's a case for a lot of like future games. Like eventually they are going to start just being on PS5 and the new Xbox, and that'll suck when that starts to happen where they're not making it cross compatible.
I think it's a ways off. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I think we're at least a year away from that.
Yeah.
Just because the supply chain for like processing chips and like just
Right.
silicon products in general is so fucked right now.
I just wonder how many games you can build for both consoles. Like, how many times can you put something on the PS4 before it's like you are literally just like you're nerfing the game based on that? Like,
I
You're
think
not-
that's happening now. I think
Yeah.
we were already nerfing games, dude. I feel like fighting
Yeah.
games are suffering from that. I
mhm,
think Strive could have been a better game if it was just PS5 exclusive.
right. It's definitely already happening. I just think it's gonna happen to a worse extent once technology gets better, and we already see that. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I don't think Elden Ring looks like a PS5 game when I play it on the PS5 version on my PS5. I think fucking PS4 Ghost of Tsushima, I think looks better than Elden Ring. By
It
a
absolutely
lot.
does. Yeah. This game, like graphically, it does. Like I was just playing Bloodborne, and like Elden Ring definitely looks better, but it's not like such a substantial improvement where it's like I think Bloodborne looks bad. I still think Bloodborne looks really good. It's just it's got a few flaws that like really hinder it. It's graphics, but like the art style absolutely carries Elden Ring. And I feel like just for a game its size, like I don't think graphics were a priority.
I think more than any Souls game, I at least to my knowledge, there's a visual diversity to Elden Ring more so in other games. But well, okay, so again, this I need to phrase this better because what I need to say is it has more visual diversity than Bloodborne, which is really what I mean when I say shit like that. I don't know if it has more visual diversity than Dark Souls. I can't say that with confidence.
Yeah.
I hope it does. That I feel like it should.
I think it does. But again, I mean, Bloodborne's art style's fucking great, and there's no game that looks like Bloodborne. It's a very unique game in that sense. Whereas, like, there's other stuff that looks like Elden Ring, like as good as it looks. I mean, Sekiro had some better looking environments than Elden Ring did. I think Sekiro had some really nice looking shit.
That's some really nice looking shit.
This was my PS5 setup, by the way. Before I don't live in that apartment anymore. I moved, but that's what it used to look like.
Oh, whoa, that's sick.
Yeah,
That does look nice.
That's
Yeah.
attractive.
No, I purposely did not buy the disc version. Actually, no, I literally just lied to both of my friends right now. I bought the discless version because the disc version wasn't available, but it's one of the best things that ever happened to me because I think the disc version looks like asshole. I think it looks fucking awful.
Is it that different?
Let me get a picture for you guys.
Is it
Talk
bigger?
amongst yourselves.
I don't know which version I'd go for.
I like your Switch.
'Cause I-
Oh yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
the Switch looks
Look how
cool.
small it is compared to the fucking PS5.
Yeah.
This is the
God
I'm
damn,
sure
that
it
is
looks worse
huge.
real life.
Literally looks like a fucking PC. Like that could be
It's
a PC.
actually taller than my actual No, my PC is slightly taller. Yeah, that's I think it looks like ass, but that's me. I think it looks much better without the disc.
Is that the same picture? Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
see.
no, it just Discord is
Okay.
telling me to post it twice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like
That's
it
kind of just like
has a little growth there.
Yeah, growth is a good word, a good way to describe it. But I hate that my friends can't buy PS5s. I think it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Your friends agree.
Do you have to have your PS5 vertical, or can you lay it horizontal?
You can't. My buddy Greg, he does it whenever I go to his places. It's horizontal.
Okay.
I don't know if it looks good horizontal though, to be honest with you. It looks like it fell over, right? Like it doesn't look like because it doesn't. It's not a flat surface. If you own a PS5, you'll notice both sides are curved.
Yeah.
So
I
it literally
noticed that,
looks like someone knocked over your PS5 and you didn't put it back up.
It's like you knocked over a lamp or some shit, or like, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you unscrew the base, so it's not too bad, but it just looks awkward to me. I don't like it.
I've always been wary of like vertical consoles, just in case I hit the desk or some shit. And that shit, even since the 360, I think that gave me like, I feel like that would do so much damage to the fucking hardware, and like I just see that corner of your desk. I'm like, dude, if I accidentally tripped or some shit, fuck.
Well, you can't see it, but underneath that monitor is a vertical PS4.
Oh,
Damn. Yeah. Let me see if I can get a picture. We'll talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing that. Elden Ring. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Elden Ring is.
Would you say it's game of the year?
What month is this? Is this March? Yeah.
March.
It's hella game of the year.
Like seriously, what games?
I mean, so
come
far.
out? What else is there? Is there anything on the horizon that's like, oh, on the horizon, haha, fucking
boy. Yeah, there you go.
That's a topic.
Man, I forgot about that shit, dude.
Yeah,
Damn
that's
it.
something you wanted to bring up.
I forgot all about that shit. The devs, dude, the devs have been so fucking salty about this game.
Yeah.
Those who were those motherfucking bitches? There's the Ubisoft devs were the big ones though that were like, man, you caught me off guard and I forgot all about that story.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about.
There was fucking drama, but drama from those other guys that were like the first dev was like, what was he fucking talking about? He was saying like, oh, this game sold like whatever we said, like 12 million copies and whatnot, and has like 9 and 10s across the board, and it has shitty UX. What is my life? Because he was a UX artist, and apparently that shit no one cares about UX as far as how well a game does. Was what he was positing pretty much, and clearly he was right. But he was also like trying to slide in there that this game has shitty UX. And it was like, well, I mean, does it though? To the extent that you're saying, and then there was another chick. These are all devs, mind you, that slid in there, and she was like, also, people are totally cool with the game coming out that has bad frame rate and like problems on the PC version, and she's right. And then the third person slid in there was like, yeah, people are also totally cool with the shitty quest design. And they were all from Ubisoft, though. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 100% sure they were. But it's like, you guys are bitches. You guys are just fucking like being bitches because this game did really, really, really well, and it doesn't have like the shit that your game had in it, and that being Horizon is like is the big one, and Horizon is the funny one because the person that or people on the internet like took a shot of Elden Ring and put like all the shit that's on screen in Horizon, like put that shit on there, and God, it was You saw it, like D4 saw it. I
Yeah.
posted it. I posted it once. It's on the internet. You could like just Google it. It's there. It it looks like a fucking mess. And it's like this
Yeah.
is supposed to help with your user experience, and it has like at the bottom the character being like what does the Tarnished say today? The Tarnished says, "Oh, I should go explore that cave over there."
Yeah.
And it's like an update on your right about all these quests, and it's like, "Oh, I need to go back and deliver this book to somebody, and I need to
Yeah.
go back and to check out this person and finish this cave over here because I didn't finish it." And then like over in the left, it's like fucking download the Kingslayer armor on sale today in the armor
Yeah.
store. Like, it was ugly as fuck.
The
Like a
probably
game-
most, what's up?
No,
Oh,
go
it
ahead.
was just like it was a Game of Thrones tie-in, like
Yeah, it was.
like,
It was just a
yeah.
shitty, meaningless Game of Thrones tie-in for nothing. Go ahead, throw it in
The
there.
most subtle joke in that picture is how big the fucking life bar is.
Yeah.
That's the most subtle part of it. It's just hilarious.
That's the part they didn't alter. That was true. They just needed a life bar that was that fucking big. No, that fucking mini compass on the top of it is what pisses me off. Like that shit.
I hate those in any game. Like those are so
Ah.
distracting. Like my mind will go there if there's a compass, and I miss a lot of the game because of that. That was The Witcher for me. Like I'm spent 90% of my time looking at the fucking map than the actual world.
Just posting for reference. Eris ruined any chance I have of ever playing The Witcher. Because that's all I'm going to think. Maybe it's a really good game. Maybe the game is fantastic, but that's all I'm going to think about when I'm playing Witcher. Fuck.
The bitcher.
he hates
Yeah.
Witcher fans.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, that's
my
what they
God.
always say on his fucking shit. God.
Yeah, that's shit.
Tarnished
Press X
says.
to activate Tarnished.
Yeah, that was a fucking huge one, dude.
That's literally The Witcher sense. That's
Every
that's in the
goddamn game since Arkham has that shit though. Like that's the whole
Arkham
deal.
Has the
Yeah.
Yeah.
X
Oh
Division
right.
as well.
Yeah.
Fucking Red Dead 2 has that shit. You can go into like the weird mode and you can see the smells as they travel across the grass.
Shit.
Like
I hated that bullshit.
every game has to have that shit now. Like it's so fucking stupid. Get out of here. Press X to activate Tarnished Sense.
I do like
Yeah.
the level up exclamation point. I wouldn't hate that in Elden Ring, to be honest with you.
Wait, the what?
The
The
level
level
up.
up exclamation point at the
Oh.
bottom. I think that's
Level
kind
up.
of tight.
To let you know when you're able to level up. Yeah, I guess you could have that. Because I don't know if I could level up until I go and plop my ass down and look at
The fucking
at the bonfire.
Main quest talk with Melina. Oh my god.
yeah.
Enemies
Oh,
detected.
you know what? I'm so glad we saw this picture. It reminded me, dude, fuck the birds in Elden Ring so much. Those are not fun to fight. You can't fucking hit them.
Yeah.
Oh, those
They
things.
dodge your fireballs. Fuck the Castle Stormvale birds. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I fucking hate those things.
Those are my pick for worst enemy in the game. Like I fucking hate fighting those.
But they're kind
Or
of
they-
sick,
one of the
right?
worst,
No, they're not. Don't ever say that again.
But they're
yeah. They have
kind
the
of,
talons.
dude. They're kind of sick though. They have the fucking dude. They're bitches.
They
But
throw barrels at you and shit.
But if you fucking do the what is it? The counterattack, whatever it is called, it works pretty well.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I've been using magic the whole game, so I didn't get to do that. So
If you-
maybe, yeah.
If you use a guard counterattack, it's not so bad.
I mean, I know I could equip a shield and I could learn this shit, but that's not why I picked Prophet. I wanted to throw fireballs. And
I've
then-
never. I should say it. I never have used shield in any Souls games because I just don't like it. It's whatever.
Really? Because I was watching the Escapists and they were saying that shield was really important for the first Dark Souls.
Well, then maybe
No.
I was playing it wrong. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't feel like it was important at all. I never used a shield in DS1.
I hardly ever use a shield in those games. But in this game, because of the guard counter mechanic, I started using it and I felt like it was more fun because it wasn't just it had like an offensive vibe to it too. So I felt more
Mhm.
okay with it. But that was just me.
I'd say that for me, I don't like that the game is so defensive, and I think that's what's really missing in the gameplay compared to Bloodborne, where it feels like you can just attack shit in Bloodborne and you'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
fine, and like you can just
Bloodborne's
go in.
still
and-
very offensive, like
Yeah.
among the most offensive of Souls games, aside from maybe Sekiro, because
Yeah.
God, Sekiro.
And this game is like you are a bitch compared to most of the bosses. Like, you just have to plan your attacks, and that's fine and all. It's just not as fun to me as just going in and fucking wrecking shit. Because
Yeah.
you can still get fucked up in Bloodborne, but it's like you can at least do damage, and yeah, I think rally has a lot to do with that too, like recovering health
Yeah.
after
Rally
getting
is
hit
a big
and-
thing.
Yeah. What was the topic?
Birds.
Yeah, birds.
Birds.
That is a good stopping point. Did y'all
Yeah.
have final thoughts? I'm sure something's going to hit me tomorrow, and I'm going to be pissed and talk about it. But really, the most important part was the rabbit story, where I accidentally set that bunny on fire, and I felt really bad about it. That's really all I wanted to do. So, if you guys got final thoughts, though, go for it.
You go for it.
I'm trying to think. I got most of my main talking points out of the way.
I can't believe I forgot about that Deb shit.
Favorite boss?
I had this answered. What the fuck is it?
I had it too.
Favorite boss.
My favorite boss is Godric.
Is he really?
I mean, it was him or Margit, man. Like,
Yeah,
and Margit took me 10 hours, so I'm going to say Godric.
that's
By a
fair.
lot.
Godric had a dragon arm by the end of it.
I think Margit would be a perfectly fine boss if I was able to do fucking damage to him. That was the only real problem, dude.
Yeah, that's
Other
why.
than
Like,
that,
yeah,
Margit's fine. What's up?
yeah, that's why I said like on my other character, my new character I made, and I was like adequately leveled. He was totally fair. I thought.
Okay, my
I
actual
think it was
favorite
well
boss,
done.
dude. Like when you go and you're in Stormvale and you go through the door and the door locks behind you, and that guy fucking does like troll
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
boss.
Yeah, that guy's tight.
Like, and then then you got to fucking fight him.
Yeah,
Best boss in the game.
What a bitch.
that was sick.
That guy was tight.
It sneaks up on you because the game does not really have a horror aesthetic. So when that happens, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that room is fucking creepy.
Yeah,
It's good. I
That-
like it a lot.
that was a nice surprise.
Wait, did you ever rank Elden Ring? Where was Elden Ring placed again?
Me.
Oh, yeah, you didn't.
God.
No, you're not getting out of this, dude. I said 11 was good when I played the beta. I can never take that back. You got to commit to a slot.
I ended up liking MK11 a lot, but it was because of Fujin. Like, so I guess I like Fujin a lot.
Yeah.
Fujin Combat 11 was great.
Dude, we cannot go a Warrior Shrine without talking about Fujin. Oh my god.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's
right?
important. Elden Ring. All the guys with the fucking Fujin swords in that castle.
Yeah, there's so much wind shit in this game.
I mean, that one made sense though, because it's Stormvale, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Right now, I'm gonna put Elden Ring a little bit above. I don't even know what that means.
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's your
put it.
three. I feel like it has to be your 3 based off everything you've told me.
I'm gonna put it a little bit above Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's your 4 then.
So it's right there in that nebulous area where it will be finally is to be determined. But that's where it is right now.
Okay. I know you described to me how you think of it as just Elden Ring being like a way better Dark Souls 3, which I
It
agree
is.
with.
Yeah. I think it is like for me, it is like a replacement for Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to go back to Dark Souls 3.
No, I don't either.
No reason.
Ugh.
The gameplay is so similar.
It is,
I
but
don't
better.
have a list, but
Yeah, Tim,
well,
what's
I
yours?
was just- Bloodborne's better.
Well,
It's
yes.
my
Yeah.
list. Bloodborne's better than Elden Ring.
Bloodborne is definitely better than Elden Ring.
It's Elden Ring. I think is good though. I mean, if you were to rate it just as like, did you get value for your $59.99? Oh yeah. Oh my god. It's a good
Yeah.
game. It's aesthetically all over the place right now, which is, you could argue is like it's aesthetically diverse. You could take any angle you want as good or bad. You could say it's not cohesive, or you could say it's diverse. You could really kind of tune that to a criticism or a praise. But right now, like I said, I feel like it's like I said New Zealand before, but anywhere that has grass, you could say that's what Elden Ring looks like to me. But man, the castle, like Stormvale, is fucking sick. Which feels like Bloodborne in many ways to me. I feel like that
Mhm.
exploration of breaking into someone's house and killing them. Like that was a
Yeah.
weird way to phrase it. But just
I agree,
God,
Tim. It is fun
I-
breaking into people's house and killing them.
the Nightmare
Yeah.
of Mensis was such a good experience for me, dude.
Holy
Like that's
shit,
kind of the
that
bar I
place-
hope
That
for
place
all
is
Souls
fucked up.
games.
I'm surprised. That's usually not one of the most praised areas. So
Well, I like castles. I like climbing on top of like big ass castles.
yeah,
And,
there's a climb in that for sure.
Lagarius, I just honestly the whole cathedral esque I guess it's technically a castle, but like it's not good enough to get to the top of the castle. You have to go on the roof, and then the birds and fucking Bloodborne attack you, and
Yeah,
it's like fucking birds, and then you have to. I don't. It was a cool location, but
I love that Canehurst area. The
Canehurst,
rooftop
thank you.
fight. Yeah,
God, I was just so tired when it was over. Maybe if I play it again, but I think the Nightmare of Mensis was my favorite location.
it's a cool area. I wonder what you'll think of the DLC areas
I'm
if
sure.
you
I'll
ever
love
play it.
Oh, I mean, it's up to Sony for being real, but yeah, I
Yeah.
do play it one day. Even though I think Murgo was kind of a little too easy for where Murgo was in the game.
Mhm.
I do feel like that she is a really cool boss.
She's like pretty much universally criticized for being a not good enough last boss. Like she's not interesting enough or hard enough. Her difficulty's
She's
weird.
the final boss, if you want to look at it that way.
Mhm. Yeah, she's a potential final boss. Like I look at Gurman as being the final boss, but
Yeah, I agree.
she can be the final boss if you do that. So she should have been harder. And I was just gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh, final boss for Elden Ring. I would say honestly, I really like Tree Sentinel as easy as he is. Like, I really just love that back and forth and like the fighting him on foot. Like, he just fucking goes ham sometimes. And like, he has that sick reflect. Like, if you try and throw shit, he'll just fucking reflect with his shield. Nightwolf. I love that shit. He's also just one of my favorite designs in the game. I love just the big ass golden armor and yeah, very like obviously like it seems like a shit answer because it's just like basically the first fucking enemy, but I really like him. I like fighting his later versions too. And my second favorite would probably be Radon. The scope of that fight still like amazed me, and as bullshit as that was pre-patch, because I'm actually a little salty that they nerfed it because he's supposed to be hard and he's supposed to feel like
Yeah.
you need all your fucking friends to fight him with, and that just nerfing him removes that element completely. And I feel like it's supposed to be hard. Like that's why the summons are there. Like I feel like they nerfed it just because of the no summon rule bullshit that people have, and they complained and then got it fucking nerfed. And I'm like, no, like you're supposed to summon. It takes away from the fight if you just do it yourself. I feel like
I agree.
the point of it is that you get everyone, you fucking gank this bitch and you fuck him up. Like it's like a fucking movie scene. It's tight. He's not like the most interesting boss like to fight. Like he's not the smartest boss, but just pure spectacle. And I like his story a lot. And the horse, like knowing that he was attached to his horse so much that he learned to levitate so he doesn't crush the horse because of how big he is. I think that is so sick. He's easily one of the coolest enemies in the game, I think. Like just based on story and presentation and everything.
I agree.
And just the whole lead up to the tournament and everything, that is so sick.
Yeah,
Like the whole
tournament.
festival. Like I want more shit like that.
I was also gonna say him.
Really, I'm surprised.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite boss. I mean, overall, like, yeah, at the time, I was like, at first, I was really, really fucking pissed at that guy for a long time because I was trying to do it the shitty way. Or by the shitty way, I mean the honorable way, the
Yeah.
noble way. But like, no, that's fucking stupid. After you figure that out, and once you figure that out, it becomes like a whole other situation. And
It
yeah,
really disappointed me too because there's so many Soul streamers that just avoid the summons, and I'm like, I thought it was more hyped of like
It
going
was.
there because there's nothing like
100%.
that in other Souls games. There's like you can summon like a one cooperator or whatever, summon your friends, but there's never like been a situation where you can summon like 7 different
Yeah.
NPCs. And I thought that was a huge missed opportunity on several streamers. to avoid that, just out of I have to do this like
It was
the
absolutely.
honorable way.
Mhm.
I found that really lame.
Well,
Really
the
fucking
irony of
stupid.
that is, and I'm kind of painting a straw man. Not that Eris is ever going to hear this, but Eris plays a necromancer in Diablo 3, and all he does is summon shit. So it jokes on him.
Yeah.
It's
No,
yeah.
if Eris
like-
were here, he'd be like, no, that's not the same fucking thing, and he'd be right, but it's still funny. It doesn't stop being funny just because it's a straw man.
Yeah, I think every streamer I watched, Li Joe, Max, Eris, and I watched a couple others, and none of them summoned. I'm like, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, you really are missing the point if you don't do the summon thing there. And I feel like that may have been why it worked the way that it did and whatnot.
Mhm.
Because so many people do have, at least a lot of people who are outspoken or very vocal have those stupid vocal opinions about Souls games, and they really brought that shit into this game especially.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a Souls
Oh.
game. Like, it's not, it is, but it's not. It has its own shit too.
For sure.
And that fight specifically with him, who was it? Was it Radagon?
No, it was Radon.
Radon,
Or-
Jesus.
or-
There's,
yeah.
there's a lot of these names.
A lot of
Radagon
names,
is,
yeah.
is a boss. You do fight a Radagon in this game at some point.
Yeah.
But no, okay, yeah.
And of the bosses to nerf, like, Radon is not one of them I would nerf. I would nerf Godskin Duo, I would nerf Fire Giant, and I would nerf Radagon.
God,
Like,
the fire
I don't-
giant, don't, dude.
Like, I think it's dumb. I just think that's fucking lame. That just takes away, because apparently he's one of the easiest to beat now, like mid game. Like he's not even hard, and that's so lame to me. That like a section, I've only been able to experience a pre-patch, and now post-patch it's a completely different thing.
Well,
Like,
you're gonna have to try it.
Yeah.
It sucks that that version is not really accessible outside of just not updating your game or just playing it off the disc, which I can't even do with my PS5. So
It just, that really bummed me out, especially because I think he's optional. I think he's completely optional, but
I think he is, yeah.
that was so confusing. That was the worst change they made, was
I
nerfing
wasn't
him.
aware Souls games got patched this often or this early. This is such news to me.
They do get patched, but like, I don't think there's been a patch that has changed as much in one patch as this, as far as I can remember. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any other Souls game added parts of quest lines and like items to NPC shops and like different shit like that. Like, I'm not sure.
I mean, not that I can remember, but I haven't followed that many Souls games at launch.
Right.
So I don't know.
I know they added, yeah. Go
Well, I was
ahead.
just gonna say it's not as big of a problem with this game because there's so much content that did stay consistent. But there is a question of people reviewing games, and then the game that comes out is an altered version a week later than what all the reviewers reviewed. I think that's kind of it's not. I'm going to contradict myself here because I think reviewers are bullshit anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really the community is the only reviewer that matters anymore.
Right. I'm the same way. It's why I view criticism really like I view it both ways where like some people can be too harsh on it, but also like you can't trust modern outlets that just will endlessly praise something when it doesn't deserve it. Like, I'm not saying that this game doesn't deserve praise. It absolutely does, but it's like it's the type of fake praise, like the type of praise that will fucking do it for money. And
I have not read like a single review for this game. I know that a lot of them are good. But I have no idea that like why they say it's good or whatever. I can imagine why easily, but like for me and for me having played this game and finished it now, like for me this is a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
So
well, I mean, I think of like I've been watching a lot of reviews of The Last Guardian just because I've been bored as fuck, and it's amazing how when that game came out, it was like just universally acclaimed, and everyone now knows it is unquestionably a shit game. No one could ever call that a good game at this point. So it just
that is a weird thing. You're right. I forgot about that game.
That was such a hyped up game too.
That was a really hyped up.
Yeah,
game.
you have a bird dog cat, and it doesn't listen to you, and
that's all I remember about it.
And
sorry.
It's weird that game was so like if it was like embraced that hard whenever it first came out, that game like got fucking pushed back a billion times. That game they were working on that game for a long ass game, and for a long ass time, and they couldn't they couldn't crack it. And it was clear that they couldn't crack it because I mean, you know, after fucking Shadow of the Colossus, that was going to be their big follow up. And Shadow of the Colossus was fucking amazing. It was sick. And they worked on that game for fucking years and years and years. And usually that's not a good sign. If
I
you're.
beat 2 bosses and dropped it. Shadows of the Colossus.
What the
Damn.
fuck, dude? How? What the hell?
It's a good game. I really enjoyed what I played. I thought it was really cool. I could not believe how well the design was considering the age of the game. I played the remaster. I just got busy. I just got fucking busy.
So
dude.
you didn't play it whenever it came out and shit.
No, not even close. And we're talking. This is like 2 months ago. I'm talking about.
Okay, that's crazy.
And I bought the game 2 years ago. I felt guilty for not playing it, so I booted it up like 2 months ago.
Okay.
Beat 2 bosses. I'm like, oh, that was pretty good, and I never booted it up ever again.
Okay.
Damn.
I played that shit whenever it came out, and like originally on the PS2 and shit, and man, that game was it blew my fucking mind, and it's still sick. I forgot the last time I played it. It was a few years ago, but it was still sick last time that I played it, and that was just going back and booting up the actual PS2 and playing it on a disc.
Remember that?
That was a thing. I still have that disc around here somewhere, and my PS2.
I still have my PS2 as well.
When was the last time you played it?
Probably a year ago.
Yeah, I was surprised that mine still works. Like that was I don't know if that's true about my other consoles.
PS2 is my favorite Slim of all time. My original PS2 died, and I had to buy the Slim version that was silver, and it looks so good. I still love it.
My Slim died, but I can't believe how small that console was. That's the most portable, like, actual system. It's so tiny.
Such a nice surface area.
It is really nice. I shoved that shit under my couch. I tried to pull it out and play it, and it didn't work, so I had to go back to my fat one. But
oh man,
yeah,
died a horrible fucking death, so I'm not.
I've only ever had one PS2. No, go ahead. What?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I only ever had one PS2, and that's still the one that I have, the fat one, the original one.
That's crazy.
It's still living.
The fat one's still pretty cool too, because it looks like new technology for the time.
It does. It still is like, man, this is it looks tight. What are you gonna say, D4?
Fuck. Honestly forgot. Oh, I was just gonna ask Tim. You said Max reviewed the game?
No, it's the guy who plays Doom on the what's it called? The Capcom sketches he does. Assist me. The guy who plays Doom.
What's his fucking name? Steve or Simmons or some shit?
Simmons sounds right. I just call him. So
you call him? Oh, okay, yeah.
But you said he didn't really have a history with Dark Souls, and he was coming from that perspective. He liked the game.
I like hearing that perspective of like someone who.
His biggest problem was the camera, and I think there's a lot of merit to that.
Oh, absolutely.
I never even got to the camera. Oh, that's how big the stupid fucking game is.
Yeah.
Camera.
Camera is still absolutely a problem, and has gotten me killed multiple times.
It's a problem in every Souls
are worse,
games.
but the camera's bad. What's up, Django?
No, I'm just gonna say the camera is always like a something you have to contend with in Souls games. Like the camera's always gonna fuck you at some point. Like the camera.
Also,
if you play the camera in the Ludwig fight, holy shit, that's still a fucking thing.
Eris had such a good point about this with that Blackblade Kindred fight. If you haven't watched that video, Tim, go watch it.
I did. It's great.
he was complaining the entire time about the terrain, and watching him. I went and tried to fight that boss. He was 100% on point. I'm dodging into walls, and there's fucking leaves blocking my view, and like he's on a rock glitching, and fucking it is not meant to be there. And there's several instances, even with Fire Giant, where it's like the terrain fucks you up so bad, and like the camera, and that is something they gotta work on for the next, like, that just should not be he was like saying it's like Tekken 4. It literally is, where it's like you're fighting on slanted shit, and like suddenly it's like grounded again. It's very fucked. Like they gotta work on that, because
there's another problem that video really well illustrates, and that's how I felt against Market, where I feel like certain bosses, you get the pattern down, and you find out they've been saving tech for nationals, and they pull up their Discord tech at the last minute, and you die at the very end of the fight. That shit is so fucked up. Yeah. I know you guys say it was probably just part of the second pattern, but the string just wouldn't end. The string just was not ending. And you know, whether it's part of the pattern or not doesn't matter, because I ran out of stamina, which didn't happen before. It's just, oh my god, it just kept going and going. Yeah. God bless that damn jellyfish. Oh my god. So, yeah, like the whole like secret Discord tech shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that again, and I know I will. So, but the camera, like when the Kindred thing starts teabagging Eris because it doesn't know what the model doesn't know what to do. Yeah, that
Yeah.
I love it and I hate it because there's like a Mass Effect Andromeda effect that I do appreciate about unintended like visuals. But yeah, that's when it gets you killed, it's not fun.
You're entirely right about that because you just made me think of one of the hardest optional bosses. They're actually probably one of the hardest Souls bosses of all time. Like, I never beat her, and she's just complete fucking bullshit. But she has this specific attack where she doesn't do it like phase wise. She just does it when you're about, maybe a quarter of her health down, which is hard to tell because every time she hits you, she heals too. So it's really hard to tell when she's gonna pull that out, and it just seems completely fucking random. And it's an attack that's super hard to fucking dodge unless you know the precise way to do it. And it's just such bullshit. You get killed instantly if you don't dodge away right. And there's a lot of that in this game where it's like they seem to gain something new at like irregular timings of like not telling you it's a new phase, but they still have like new attacks. I don't think I like that. I think signifying that's a new phase allows for new attacks. I prefer that.
It's such a perseverance issue. Like my friend said he didn't want to buy Elden Ring because he was afraid he would get addicted. And I'm like, you don't get addicted to Souls games. You play Souls games because you have something to prove. And it really becomes a battle of like, how long am I willing to do this?
Right.
I committed to beating Margit.
Margaret.
Margaret. Yes, I committed to fighting Margaret, and I beat Margaret. But you know what though? Like, if I find an optional boss that's gonna fucking do like fucking Kazuya's laser eye on me, I don't know, man. I don't want to fight Devil Jin and die instantly.
Yeah.
If it's an, I don't. Okay, so why? Why would I commit to that? Is the philosophical question. For Blood Echo?
It's just the street cred. It's like, oh, I beat her. And no, you won't find her unless you look up a fucking guide or have Pot do it because he guided me through the 13 bonfires it took to get to her, dumbass. And I'm never doing that again. Fuck you. My reward is to fight the hardest boss, and she's fucking bullshit, not even hard in like a good way. But you reminded me of something too. Like, it's literally that because I wanted to finish the game because I got to the final boss before Pot did, but I didn't. I'm like, I don't really feel like fucking grinding this boss, so I'm gonna set it down for a week. And he beat the boss, and he's talking shit. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I gotta fucking beat the boss just so I can say I finished the game. Like, that's literally part of the only reason why I did it, just so like I can say I beat the game. Like, I don't. Final boss was shit. I got lucky beating it. I don't feel good about it. Like, I don't.
You got to see your character in a throne.
Yeah, great reward. But I do get to play through the game again on, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to play the game on New Game Plus so I can like explore shit I didn't find before rather than just waste time, like on this character I get to experience it with the like higher difficulty for the earlier stuff, and I wanted that. But yeah, it's absolutely that. It's like it's just the street cred that you want to say you like have done all the optional shit. And as I don't give a fuck about that anymore. I'm gonna fucking say I'm not gonna fight every single optional boss because I don't want to just put in the time for that. Like, it's not worth it to me.
I have not fought that boss, by the way. That chick he's talking about.
You're gonna hate it.
I don't know if I'm gonna fight her. Like, there's other bosses that I fucking hate in this game.
What's her name so I can Google her?
It's Melania, I think.
Oh god.
She's the bitch that was in the trailer with like the arm and the helmet, like with red hair. She's also the collector's edition statue.
I know this chick.
Yeah, she is fucking bullshit. And she heals you every time she attacks, and she's not hard. It's artificially hard. It's just not a fun fight. And it sucks.
I'm surprised I knew who she was. This is fascinating.
She's really cool, and some people may disagree with me to just get good. I don't care. She's badly designed. The only thing that makes her hard is artificially just like healing and fucking the big swipe attack that's hard to avoid. It's fucking stupid.
I mean, for all my problems with Margit, what makes him such a good intro boss is that if you beat him after, even if it takes 10 hours or 20 hours, your reward is Stormveil, which is a big reward. I'm not gonna fight this chick. Fuck that. My reward is I fought the chick and I get to tell other people I did. No, I'm good.
You get her katana and you can do the move, but that's literally 90% of the invasions in that area. We were just getting invaded and people mashing that move. And it's like, oh, I wonder why, because that move is fucking stupid.
I can already picture that you don't have enough dexterity message when I try to equip that shit.
Oh, I think you're literally. I think it requires 48 dexterity.
Yeah, it's 48 dex.
Yeah.
It is 48 dex.
I think that boss can require 48 of these nuts. I'm not doing.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm gonna have to fight her at some point now. Like you're making such a big deal out of her. I'm gonna have to go find
change
her.
you want to see in this world, Django. I want to see you stream it.
I'm gonna.
I would love that.
It's not gonna go well.
I want.
Dude,
Max, it took like 5 hours, and I can't remember if he used summons or not, but he was using a broke ass weapon too, which I called out Pot for doing. And he's like, what? Like, he was giving us shit. He was saying, like, you guys are using, like, basic-ass weapons. Like, I never had a problem with damage. I was like, okay, what weapon did you beat her with? And he's like, oh, yeah, I was using... I'm like, that's the fucking weapon Max was using. Shut the fuck up. Like, that's some broke shit.
Oh, it was
the
blasphemous blade. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to get Pot on soon so he can defend himself.
He has a history of this with Sekiro too, where he's using the busted shit and he's acting like he's such a god for getting through it. It's like, dude.
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at me flying through this shit. Like, this shit was easy. Look at this.
This boss was
Who
free.
was it?
Like,
Who was it? It was.
If only for entertainment, I would like due process, and I would like to see Pot before the jury of his peers.
It was Juzo, the fat dude. Yeah, it's like, oh look, this is easy. This is how you do it, and he's running underneath his like his mushroom umbrella the whole time.
He posted a video because I was struggling with that boss. He still gives me shit for struggling against that boss, and he was like fucking high ass level. Like he had all these upgrades. He was doing shit I've never seen before. I'm like, how the fuck? I don't even have these items. What are you talking about? I'm like 10 minutes into the game. Like, the fuck?
No, there's different ways to. That's what these Souls games are all about. You can fucking go grind for 1,000,000 hours, and that's cool if you want to do that. There's a lot of ways to come at different things in these games and to deal with your fucking struggles. If you want, you can sit down and you can. Well, no, you better sit down and grind out like a. Just kill the same enemies for 1 billion times and level up and get you like a whole bunch of fucking health and go in there and then fight Margit. You can do that if you want.
Well, officially I'm not taking sides, but you guys do kind of sound like Eris complaining about magic right now.
All I'm saying is that
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the thing where you can go grind and you can get buff and then you can go fight the boss, and that's cool.
That feels like an option select.
Hey,
it's like, listen, you can play easy mode if you want to. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a bitch. That's kind of what it sounds like.
No, actually, what I'm saying is like it's cool that you can do that with FromSoft's games. It's a credit to FromSoft. It's not a credit to anyone who wants to play that way.
There it is. There it is.
So there you go. You do it how you like.
He did that for the last boss too with the summons, but I actually went and got that summon. I upgraded that shit, and then I beat the boss. So that's what you got to do. In this game, if you're struggling against the boss, you just got to go get the fucking summons and be a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I literally conceded. I'm like, I'm not going to beat this without these summons. And it's lame.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah. And she's fucking broke. She was worth it. She's a sick-ass summon, but without her, I wouldn't have fucking beat the last boss.
Oh, wait. Who did you summon?
I summoned the Black Knife Tiche or whatever.
Oh, I didn't do that. I went and got the Mimic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Mimic got nerfed, so.
Well, my Mimic was still really good, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Mimic's not bad. It's not, like, horrible.
It got the job done.
Yeah. It just used to be way more broke. That's also another thing. People pre-patch and post-patch have different... Because they nerfed a lot of the broke shit. Like, Mimic and the Stomp, so... I mean, it'll be different now going through it. Again.
Oh, the Stomp. Jesus
Which we
Christ.
know, Pot... Guess who introduced us to the Stomp? It was Pot.
Yeah. Pot, yeah.
He's seeking out that broke shit.
That was broke. Like, the Stomp was fucking ridiculous.
It was too broke, yeah.
Like, it's fine. Like, I got salty about the fucking, the bloody thing.
Yeah, Bloody Slash.
Which, I'm still a little salty about, because they nerfed it a lot.
That was like your main fucking squeeze.
That was my whole fucking thing. And they nerfed that shit to where it takes more health and the recovery on it is hella longer. So it's like, dude, that's broken to the ground. But that's not what the fucking stomp was. The stomp was obviously like, maybe they didn't even intend, they probably didn't intend this to do with the stomp. Like, the stomp was a little crazy. Go ahead.
Having a mimic and the stomp made Melania's first phase a joke. Like, we would just corner her fucking ass and stomp all fucking day. And both of us were doing it. And it was fucking sick. It was tight seeing both of us just stomp, and have her. She literally was stun locked. She couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
But it's also, I do find it a little lame that they nerfed the mimic to the point where it's like, it's not tight using it anymore. He kind of just wanders around like a dipshit and is just kind of a distraction. He doesn't like do any weapon arts that much or like do any cool shit.
My mimic's still pretty buff though.
Does he have like a lot of health or is it just like doing a lot of damage?
Mine has a lot of health.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much damage he does. I don't know. I got to pay attention. But he's still pretty helpful.
Yeah. I just think it was a little cool, like doing that, like where it's like you're going in both like fucking up this boss, like if it was like a mimic version of you, and now it's kind of like a dumber AI.
Well,
like,
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that. That sounds cool.
Yeah. But I mean, it needed to be nerfed. It was too good, but I just think they nerfed it like with the bloody slash, maybe too hard in the wrong ways.
Okay.
Like I would have just nerfed the damage and health. I don't know if I would have nerfed like the function as much.
Okay. I can
And
see
same
that.
with bloody slash. Like I wouldn't have nerfed the recovery or the health. I would have just nerfed the damage probably.
Enjoy the Moonveil. They nerfed that a little bit, but not that. But it's still like really fucking good.
I still have never used that. You gave me like 2 of them, but
Dude, the Moonveil's good.
I never tried it.
You gotta try it. It's good.
Is that like the equivalent of like the Moonlight Greatsword? Or what is that?
I mean, it's a katana. You know the moves
Oh.
that the Unsheath has? That weapon art?
Yeah.
The weapon art for the Moonveil is like that, but it's very much almost the same. It's a little bit faster, and it does fire out like a laser, like whatever thing.
Is that the blue shit?
Yeah, it does the blue shit. And
shit.
it hits fucking hard. Like in 2 or 3 like good hits with that, and pretty much any boss is staggered.
Damn.
It's really
That's
fucking
wild.
good. It's really fucking good.
Holy fuck, it's huge too.
It's a good weapon. It's good.
It looks sick. Yeah, I might try that when I get on later.
Moonveil's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more into that on the next one with Pot.
On the next one.
Yeah. Like more into weapons and all that.
Yeah, I gotta play it some more too. I definitely gotta play it some more. That's the thing.
Same.
Temp, are you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, we don't have to always do an April Fools. We could do like a general Souls episode, especially if, like we're going like with like a tier list centric one.
Yeah.
I'd love to get Pot on here.
Yeah, I'm sure you had to have a lot to say.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I wanted to do this is because like I don't know when we'll get another Souls game before April ever.
Right. Wait, why April? Oh,
April
April Fools.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I get you.
Yeah, it's weird. Actually seeing like almost every Souls game was released in March since like I can't remember. But it's weird, like they're all released in the month of like March or April. So Elden Ring came out in February, but it's weird how they all come out like early year.
We just got lucky with Bloodborne because we did that like so many years after it came out.
Yeah. And that just came out I think it's 7 years old now. Because it came out the same year as which
Gosh.
MKX is also 7 years old, and that's fucked up.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Hell.
MK9 is 11 this year.
I remember Ultra David was talking to some high level player. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been listening to Ultra Chen since I was a kid." And Ultra David was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" It's like, yeah, I'd be like 12 years old listening to Ultra Chen. It's like, and they did the math, and they're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up.
I don't want to do the math.
I don't know, man. Like fucking, this is why I think Elden Ring exists. I think they were trying to teach people to touch grace and shit.
Yeah.
Look at this open world. Isn't it nice? Did you know there's a real world you can explore? It's also open.
Is it?
It is. Go get some runes. Go outside.
But you know what also happens in Elden Ring? You die a lot. And go outside, higher chance of dying.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I might just chill in that church and get a horse or some shit.
It's also outdated because, like, fucking, I work from home and I just got a raise, so.
Yeah. Why the fuck would you go outside?
Why?
Okay.
Then let's wrap it up.
Yeah, sounds good.
10 out of 10, IGN.
Oh, very 10 out of 10. 2 10 out of 10s. D4?
If you had to give a ranking, what would you rank it right now?
What do you mean ranking?
I think a letter's probably more appropriate than a number.
You want to rank it like a fucking... How does the scale?
In terms of function, I'd give it like a B+.
Okay.
Like, and not even just compared to other Souls games,
Yeah.
just how do I want to use my time today? B+. I think it's a good alternative. Like, if I don't want to, like, say, study, or if I don't want to, like read a book or some shit like that, Elden Ring is a very competitive hobby.
Yeah. I was thinking B as well. I would probably go A- or B+. And on the number scale, I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
My biggest criticism of anything Elden Ring is the time it took for me to beat Margit. I could have picked the hardest song I'm trying to play on guitar, and I could have mastered that fucking song. That's my biggest criticism of Elden Ring.
What would you...
Yeah.
I don't feel like this... I don't know, because that's like any game. If you spend...
It's true.
How many hours practicing a combo compared to practicing a song? It's like, you could use that time more wisely doing anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, so I learned the combo, and I get to do that to my friends, and that's such a reward, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I beat the combo trial and I never get to use that combo ever again.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, okay, you beat the combo and you get to talk about it on a podcast. You beat Margit and you have opinions. You have a stance on it.
But I can't go to half-price books and like talk about how I beat Margit. I can play a song on guitar. I can play Wonderwall.
Yeah. Are you ever gonna go to
play Wonderwall?
Half-price books and play Wonderwall?
Wonderwall is your go-to.
I actually can't play Wonderwall. I was learning.
I'm happy for
Love
you.
Song by Stone Temple Pilots, and that was fun.
Okay.
Nice.
Wonderwall?
I try to find songs that use a lot of like bar chords and open chords. So that's what I need to work on. But I've never tried to learn Wonderwall. But if I went to half-price books, I would make Wonderwall.
You're
would be
my
sick.
Wonder.
What am I gonna play? Enter Sandman? Like, what do you want?
I mean,
Please God, no.
is Wonderwall. What
I
Oasis?
guess I could
It
play
is
Creepy
Oasis,
Pet,
right?
Like, what's up?
It's Oasis, right?
Yeah.
Wonderwall. Okay, I'm just trying to get it correct here in my brain. Okay, we're good.
You should just play the one intro or some shit, or one whatever. That's yeah.
You wouldn't even recognize one on bass. You heard just the bass track. It doesn't even sound like one anymore.
I was trying to think of that. I couldn't. I know the guitar sound, but I have no fucking clue what it sounds like on bass.
Yeah, when you get bored, listen to the bass track for because you can listen to the isolated bass for almost all the Injustice for All songs.
Yeah.
And on Guitar Hero, you get the bass track is usually uploaded.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because they can just not play the other shit. Yeah.
Man, Jason Newsted does not get nearly enough credit. I think
he
his
was
tone
great.
is so much better than Cliff's, even if Cliff is the better player. But yeah, like Jason Newsted's tone is so fucking good. B+ Elden Ring.
Yeah. Django, what would
I don't
you
know
give
how
it?
we got that. I don't know how the fuck we got to half price books. Wonderwall. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, no, B. I agree.
So,
It's
Interesting. I thought you'd give it higher, but
it's
Yeah.
why? Why do you?
I don't know.
No, wouldn't give it higher. Bloodborne is my number one Souls game, not Sekiro. Sekiro's really good though.
I feel like we can do a whole podcast on that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, we gotta go more in depth on that sometime.
That's
On
fascinating.
what? On Bloodborne being number one?
On just and like the rankings and
On
Was
especially with you,
Sekiro
yeah.
out when we did the Bloodborne cast?
I don't think so.
I think-
it was.
What fucking year?
If it was
That's-
out, it just came out.
That was 2019, I think.
No,
Sekiro, I mean, or
numbers.
was Sekiro 2020? I can't remember.
No, it was 2019.
Okay.
Fuck. I don't. It was March 2019.
Yeah. I can't remember when we did the podcast.
I can't either.
Wait, we were talking about the beta, and that was January 2019. I want to say, or maybe not January, maybe February. I can't remember.
It was April 2019 because it was April Fool's. So
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Oh, it must have just come out, and I didn't buy the game at launch.
yeah, it was Fear the Old Beta. It was great, and then that turned into Blood. That intro was so godlike, man.
Yeah, what are you gonna title this one?
I don't know. I don't know.
That'll be a business.
We'll
decision.
see.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We'll see what happens in the future. I don't know. I don't know anything right now. What did I give it? A B? I gave it a B.
Yeah.
What was your score down for?
B plus
Okay, yeah, that's where I'm at.
or an 8 out of 10.
It's such like a safe ranking that like it can sound different, and it does sound different coming from all three of us. Like,
See,
we can-
I
Yeah.
feel like B plus is a safe ranking. I do not feel 8 out of 10 is a safe ranking. 8 out of 10 is
Interesting.
really fucking high. Like that's
But,
like
okay.
crazy high.
I've had discussions with people about my rankings and how I view rankings, where like I'm too afraid to give it less than a 7 or even a 7 because like in modern world 7 apparently means average or
Yeah.
and I'm just like that doesn't fucking make sense to me, so I better rank it higher to
Okay, that's true.
yeah.
Like if a game back in like the early 2000s got like a 7.5 score on GameSpot, I'm not buying that game anymore.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I'd look at 7 as just being a good game. Like 6 is like got some flaws but still solid, and 5 is like whatever. I guess I don't know. I find like ranking anything 10 out of 10 is just difficult because I don't know. There's not very many games I'd give a 10 out of 10 to.
IGN gave MK9 an 8 out of 10, and I was pissed because I thought
Yeah, that's
quite
bullshit.
low.
Yeah.
To
That's
be
fucked
fair,
up.
one of the reasons why they lowered the score was because the bosses were too hard. And I'm
Fucking
like, God bless Miyazaki. That's all I can say. Thank God we have hard games again, and not every game is like Lara Croft's Uncharted.
yeah,
Go play Elden Ring, everyone.
it's good.
It is good.